Well, hey now, what happened was a 10th anniversary. I can't even believe we've been doing this for 10 years. But you know what 10 years feels like? It feels like watching the World Juniors right now. Let's go.
Can't stop addicted to the shindig.
Hey now. Hey now. Hey now. What up, everybody? I hope you guys are having a great Sunday night. What a weekend to do this. I mean, we have a new year. We've got the World Juniors going on. We have the final week of regular season football. The Golden Globes, if you're into that kind of thing, is happening. There's just so much goddamn going on. I can't get over it. But we're going to try. And we're going to debate a little bit about what the Sharks could potentially do about Yaroslav Askarov. We're going to talk about Celebrini leading all the rookies up in here despite playing the least amount of games. There's going to be a mid-season review, but right now I got to tell you, I mean, Ian, welcome in to your original live, unfiltered, unedited, uncensored, commercial-free Sharks podcast. But we're still sitting here with 2 minutes left in the World Juniors. I'm going to be feeling a certain way, dude, if this shit doesn't end here in the next couple of minutes, because I'm not going to want a podcast. I'm going to want to watch the game.
Yeah, yeah, I got it. I have I have a little split screen action going on here. I've got the World Juniors on one screen. I've got you on the other.
Oh,
I'm gonna try and be focused on the task at hand. But I mean, this has been a good game.
Dude, I mean, 3-3. We got 1:30 left on my screen. Shots are 32-22 in favor of the U.S. And it's just like Svoboda. Come on, just say, hey, Casper, good run. Sucks to be you. Well, I'll see you next year at the camp. Like, come on, just get her done. Get her done, U.S. But for the Sharks, what had happened was we have reached the midway point of the season. Wow, it's weird. I started talking like Brody for a second there, where it's like I just drop in those little small spaces in between the words. But we're at the midway season, and it's the Sharks this week go 2-1-0. They still sit 30th in the league by points percentage with a record of 13-23-6. But if you were to tell me before the ball dropped in NYC and said, oh, hey, the Sharks are playing Philly, Tampa, and New Jersey this week. Sharks are going to win 2 of them and get shut out in the other. In no way, shape, or form did my bingo card have, shut out by the Flyers. Yep, that's going to happen. No effing way. And so I'm just going to start with this question, Ian. Does Georgiev ever get another start with the San Jose Sharks?
He shouldn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, one of them has to go. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. But like, I'm going to be really mad if Askarov gets sent back down.
Dude,
and I know the tank people are going to get pissed off at me about it. I don't care.
No, I'm very much kind of like, dude, if Askarov gets sent down, I feel like Warsofsky could be fired for cause.
Well, it wouldn't be his call. It would be Greer's.
Well, yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
No. Let's put the blame on the right place, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to get to the Greer GM of the Year discussion, the Adams Award. But all right, end of regulation. Of course they're going to go to OT. Of course. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They knew. They're like, oh, shit, Pucknologists going on right now? Yeah, fuck it. Let's go OT, guys.
I think I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure that overtime in the World Juniors is 3-on-3 until they die.
Oh, we love that.
I don't think the gold medal game can go in a shootout. I could be wrong. I should probably go and check that out. I have like a web browser in front of me. Pretty sure though it's 3-on-3 until they die.
Well, I like that Ruben goes, oh, shakes my head. You guys should have went live after the World Juniors.
Oh no, I got it.
Yeah, but the whole thing, who the fuck knows when that is?
Yeah, I might not even be awake at that point. So
you know what we're going to try to do? We're going to try to do the shortest Pucknologists ever, 20 minutes. Boom.
Boom. Sharks won. Everyone, that's it.
Yeah, so the Sharks went 2-1. Have a good night, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Back to World Juniors. So we're going to start with the beginning of the week like you always do versus Philadelphia. A 4-0 shutout. Third shutout of the season for the Sharks. Georgiev's last start since we've been on air. Hopefully, Georgiev's last start ever in Teal. The one thing about this, Graf gets called up, doesn't play, and I understand why. It was very last second. It was to, cover for Eklund going out, but, it's got to suck. But holy fuck, dude. When Sealer walked Goodrow, I went, oh, game over. Like, I was just like, oh, but Georgiev, like, he's just, what do they call me? Forgiev? Yeah, I think I can build on that. And then boom, there it was. I mean, just awful game top to bottom. 8 straight loss for the Sharks, 11th of the last 12. Just the Sharks record on New Year's Eve. Like, they won the first 5 ever between 93 and 07. Since then, it's, 2-8-1, but since 2016, since the Cup run, they've been 0-7-0. And let me just show it to you for anybody who missed it. Granny had the face for it. I mean, they went to Granlund's Grill during one of the timeouts, and you can see it on Granny's face. He's just like, like how soon can this year end? So it was just, it's a shit game to finish off a shit month, Ian.
It really was. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what to say about this game. Like, obviously,
right,
I don't think that I don't think like the Sharks were good. But like Georgiev's been just awful for the Sharks so far. In every start, he's been not good. And I don't think the team in front of him was particularly good either. But I don't know, man. Like, the Flyers are a team that they should have probably hung with a little bit better than they hung. Like they've proven this year that they can hang with certain teams. And the Flyers aren't good enough for the Sharks to go 0-2 against them this year, I think.
Well, the funniest thing is I saw somebody on Reddit go, the Sharks should have never have taken back Georgiev.
Why?
What, exactly. It was just kind of like, so I can't believe they traded Blackwood. They shouldn't have taken Georgiev back. They should have taken back somebody else. And I'm like, oh my God, just say you don't know how trading works. Just say it.
Yeah.
Sometimes the Sharks Reddit, sometimes I appreciate it because sometimes it just makes me feel like, I felt like I was having a really dumb day. Like, I felt like a moron. And then I went on Sharks Reddit and I'm like, I feel so much better about myself. You know what I mean?
I mean, the thing with like taking back Georgiev is fine, right? I mean, I don't think, now if they extended him, then we have problems.
Yes. But still, some of the things where it's like, have you never heard the term you have to give to get? In vice versa. Either way, it's a wormhole
Colorado's
that will die.
Team, like they're a cap team. They had to move somebody out, and Georgiev makes a decent amount of money for a goalie.
And typically, when you cough up a goalie, you typically take one back because
and they weren't going to give us Scott Wedgwood.
Exactly. And the fact is, there's not a lot of goalies. Just I don't know. Show me those times where it's, I don't know, Team A gave up a goalie and got back a forward, a defenseman, and a pick. You know what I mean? It's like, generally it's kind of like, oh, this goalie for this goalie and blah, 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 and we're going to try to make do. Either way, the Sharks on New Year's Eve, it's just been not good since the turn of the century. But 2025, oh my Lanta. the beautiful things that have happened for the Sharks over the last few days since the calendar turned. Tampa Bay come in the house. The last time the Sharks faced them, it was 8-1 in a loss in Florida. But all of a
Ugly
sudden,
one, yeah.
but oh, dude, so fugly. But who's in net, baby? Askarov, hello. You're like, are we going to get a look? And then everybody said, oh, shit, not only is Askarov in net, guess who else is back in the game? Marc-Édouard Vlasic! That's going to be it, right? And it's like, of course, there's a lot of people that were going, oh, Vlasic, the 37-year-old defenseman. And, but yeah, that's going to be, and motherfucker gets an assist on the first goal. And you're like, okay, what will I say? Dude, he played a defensive team low. Like, out of all the defensemen, he team low 1156 on the ice. He got the third star.
Yeah.
Eddie Pickles, love you, my man. And there was so much to enjoy about this Tampa game. Graf, despite getting called up, in the game beforehand, he plays, gets a look with them kids, and doesn't score. It would take him one more game to get there, but looked, I thought, fantastic. You get Toffoli in this game, had an entry for goal of the year.
Yeah.
Dude, so sick. Sick, dangle, selly, snipe, whatever you want to call it. But Vlasic gets that assist. You get Ferraro, a guy that we have, burned in effigy for most of this season.
True enough.
And he buries his own rebound, bar down. It's a 2-0 lead. And you're like, nah, there's no way this can last. The way that, if history tells us anything, this can't last.
Right, yeah.
Cirelli, Cernak, all right, it's 2-1 in that. And I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, so 2-1. It's going into the third. Okay, so the Sharks will lose this 3-2, right? But no, Askarov said, fuck you, bitches. It ain't going down like that.
Yeah, I think, and I look at for Askarov, this is a big deal game for him, right? Because at the other end of the ice is, a goalie who many consider to be one of the best goalies in the world.
I mean, he's kind of okay.
He's kind of okay, right? But so I think it's a game like when you're a competitive guy like Askarov, and I think that's something that Askarov has shown time and time again. He's a super ultra competitive guy. I think it's a game like that where he wants to put up a good performance against a guy like Vasilevsky on the other end of the ice. Like I think that like games like that are the ones that like he's going to get up for the most, and he did.
Oh, it was just. But the thing about this one is that there was a point during the game, Mikey Eyssimont got a little tilted, little heated. And when I watched that, I'm like, give me back my Eyssimont. I want Eyssimont back over Dellandrea. And the reason why I say that, of course, is because Sharks traded Eyssimont to the Lightning for Nemestikov, who was then traded to the Jets for a 2025 fourth rounder, who the Sharks then traded to Dallas for Dellandrea. And I look at him, I'm like, Eyssimont, 28 years old, Dellandrea, 20.
He was going to stay.
Yeah, 24.
And that's the thing that I'm just going to continue to go back to is there was no guarantee he was going to stay as an unrestricted free agent.
I get that, but goddamn, when you look at their numbers over the course of this year, they're so close. But to me, Eyssimont has a little more fire, and so that's why I sit there and say that. Dellandrea, bring it. That's all I'm saying. Bring a scotch more. But the funnest thing, of course, about this whole Tampa Bay game, the return of Marc-Édouard Vlasic. Let's just go to the email that I got from The Athletic, literally like at 7 o'clock in the morning the day after. Here you go. Is the NHL sleeping on the Lightning? After a dramatic offseason, contention window looks wide open. And I'm like, they just lost to the 31st worst team in the league. But sure, what a great time to send that to me.
I think the Lightning though they are a team like to play devil's
They
advocate.
are, but I'm just saying it's one of
They are
those
a
things
team
where you're like,
that I feel like we've been dancing on their grave for the last couple of years, and they never seem to die. Like they're never dead.
they aren't. But it was just really funny. It was like, you just lost to the almost worst team in the league. And then the next morning, I'm the Athletic going to go, are we sleeping on the team that just lost? Maybe we're not. Maybe you hold that for a week before you send that out. I don't know.
Yeah.
But of course, the other awesome part about the Thursday game, Will Smith catching numbers from the girls up against the glass. I mean, hey, number 2, trade you a puck for my number. And you know what? If I ever see that sign, dude, I just want to like roll up behind that girl and just stand there, arms folded, and just watch what happens, and just see. Well, like Smith goes, here's a puck, don't need the number, but thanks. You know, just fucking out of there. No, dude, that's just, I don't know. I don't think I play that card, but anyway. Finally, we get to the Jersey game. So, I got to like run down the list on the schedule, or as they say in other places, schedule. When did all these like Saturday games starting at 1:00 begin? Because there's been a few of them, and you know what? I love them. I love lunchtime hockey. I hope they do more of this. But we have Askarov starting off the second half of the season. Game 42, baby, right? We're at the halfway point. Askarov getting his second straight start. We love that. Sturm, gets scratched because he blocked a shot against Tampa. But, oh, my God, them kids making the difference. Collin Graf, dude, if they send him back down for any reason whatsoever, I'm going to feel a certain way about it, because I am loving the way he's looking with Celebrini and Smith. I think I said it a couple days ago during one of the After Darks. The sober line, they're all almost, too young to drink. I love this line.
Yeah. Where do you want to start? Askarov or the kids?
Go. I mean, dealer's choice.
Because I want to talk about like Askarov, right?
Go for
I think like for me, like I just think with the way he's played, you can't like I know a lot of people would be like, oh no, but the tank, and I want to point out like before these last 2 games, Askarov played in plenty of losses so far.
Well,
but at least the games are watchable.
Quote the tank, and also Calder for the Barracuda.
Yeah, I know, and but I just like as much as I want the Barracuda to be good, and I still think they're fine. Like I think that they'll be good enough that they should get in the playoffs. Now, will they have as good a chance without Askarov as they would, with Georgi Romanov and dealer's choice of Aaron Dell or Gabriel Carey? Of course, they'd have a better chance with Askarov. But like, could you imagine when Nabby came in? And they'd be like, no, you know what, though? One more year, Steve Shields. We got to stick with this Steve Shields guy. Like, could you fucking imagine?
No, sometimes you get the net stolen from you. That's on you.
Like, and that's what I feel. Like, I just feel like when it should be his net, because everything he's done so far in net says that it should be his. And I think that this team isn't good enough that, like, it's not like, I don't think that this team is good enough in front of him that even with him in net, they're going to go on a run. But I don't know what Askarov has left to prove in the AHL at this point.
That's what I'm saying. Like I understand that there are certain people that go, oh, you got to send him back down. He's going to get that chemistry with the young guys and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, dude, when you go down and all you do is own it, like what more do you have to prove? Especially when the guys that are ahead of you in the show are getting decimated.
Well, and not even that, but usually, you don't want to, like, at some point they're going to have to make a decision on their goalies because Vanacek is going to come back. But the Sharks don't owe either of those guys anything, because there's no guarantee that either of these guys, like, these guys are UFAs at the end of the year. And if I'm the Sharks, I'm probably not bringing either one back. So they don't owe these guys anything at this point. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like if it was like Mackenzie Blackwood still around, then maybe you'd have a conversation there. But I don't think Mackenzie Blackwood would have as easily lost the net to Askarov either.
Oh, hold on. Are we talking about the same Mackenzie Blackwood that since being traded has started 7 games and gone 6-1 with a 178 goals against and 935 save percentage? That Mackenzie Blackwood?
Yeah, I mean, look at like
Like somebody who gets it done?
gets it done. He's really good he's been really good for a team that should have been a lot better and was getting sunk by Georgiev's goaltending. And if any Sharks fan was wondering what was going wrong with Colorado this year, well, if you've watched any games with Georgiev starting, you now understand what the fuck's going on there.
Yeah. Now you're saying you're just kind of like, oh, that's why Colorado's that far back. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I get it. But this game,
I just think look at it. If they sent Askarov back down, I don't think that it's gonna like sour the relationship with them or anything like that. But I just think when a guy earns his spot, like would we, it's not like you're sending Macklin Celebrini to the Barracuda. Like that would to me it would be the same thing. Sending Askarov back would be the same thing to me as sending Celebrini to the Barracuda. Sending Celebrini to the Barracuda would do amazing things for the tank. Don't get me wrong.
But hold on. Let me ask you this. When you say sour the relationship, you're saying between the player and the franchise.
Correct.
Okay. See, I look at it as a case of if, the Sharks fans, some of them aren't complete morons. The ones that don't hang out on social media for the most part, but the ones that are showing up to the game, the thing that I get a little apprehensive about is if Vanacek and Georgiev are like, they're fine to play, they're all healthy or whatever. If at that point Askarov gets sent down and then the Sharks, go on to lose 4 of 5, I could understand Sharks fans like wanting to throw shit on the ice going, bring back Yaroslav, you dumbasses.
Yeah, because again, I don't think that the team in front of him is good enough where because a lot of people obviously it's going to be the great debate of do you have to suck to get thing, but I want games to be watchable. And again, I think the Sharks did a good job. They won their last 2 games and that's awesome. But people were talking about the playoffs in fucking November, right? And then December happened. So it's I don't think that this team is good enough where Askarov is gonna single-handedly drag them to the promised land this year, or drag them out of a decent draft. The team in front of them's not good enough. But the games are a shit ton more watchable with the Askarov in net than Georgiev or Vanacek.
Oh, between Celebrini and Askarov, it's night and day watchable.
Yeah.
I mean, who are we fooling? I mean, literally, who are you trying to kid here?
Yeah, and so what do you do? I don't know I doubt they would want to carry 3 goalies.
No,
but
that
so
would
you
be
waive
stupid.
somebody. But so you waive because again, what's gonna happen? Oh, Georgiev's gonna get pouty face when you're not gonna sign him in the offseason anyway.
Fucking
deal.
Cares?
Right,
See,
no,
and that's
exactly,
my whole
right?
thing. And you know what? I have that as part of my predictions for later. So we're kind of all over the map. But dude, I'm right there with you. Let's finish off this game against New Jersey. But before we do that, we have a super chat coming in here. Mitya, long time viewer. Appreciate you so much, Mitya. Says, let me ask you this. Query me this. I use many AJ's. Whoa, shit. I can't pronounce that word. Pharaoh's. Hold on. What? I can't pronounce that. Can you spell that phonetically? Pharaohsigisms in my everyday life. Thanks, AJ. I would. I mean, you're welcome. I wish I knew what the hell that meant. I don't have any idea what the hell that phrase means. Oh shit. Okay, the audio from the World Juniors kicked in. My bad. Let me try to turn this shit down. Good Lord. There we go.
Phrases. It should be phrases. Okay.
Phrase. Oh, okay. Yeah, but you know what? I kind of like that word better. Big words are hard. They absolutely are. Anyway, let's finish off the New Jersey game. So Sturm, again, like I said, scratched after blocking the shot versus Tampa. The kids coming in, Smith, Celebrini, Graf making all sorts of a difference. I love this kid line, just
Me
like
too.
I love your body is a wonderland. I love the Lund line. And then, like I said earlier, Graf getting an assist, playing with them kids. Celebrini taking the lead in the rookie goal scoring race. Kovalenko gets his first in Teal. And then you see Cody Ceci playing the hero, throwing on the cape with 25 seconds left. Boom. Sharks beat the Devils for the second time this season. Hello. Undefeated in 25. It was not Timo time this weekend.
It was not Timo time. We know it was not. I look at the Devils obviously got to be pretty frustrated.
Fuck them.
It was funny watching the difference between Jacob Markstrom and Askarov after the game.
Oh, dude, Markstrom lost his shit. And for those of you who have the Tweety, the X, whatever you want to call it, our buddy Snipe City 420 with a chef's kiss of a video between Markstrom and Askarov. Oh my gosh. But go ahead.
Hilarious.
Oh, dude. So dude, it should have been it should be up for like Oscar contention.
And I get it because obviously what the fuck? Markstrom had he just couldn't keep it in his glove.
Boo hoo.
I know. So I get why he was so
animated.
Upset, but yeah. Fun game.
Was he a little animated? But yeah, love to see him lose this shit. I mean, dude was trying to chop down skyscrapers with those hacks, but whatevs. Anyway, through those 3 games, let's move on to what else had happened. So the funniest part for me, anyway.
Okay.
Vlasic finally returns to the line, right at the halfway point. Loves that. Looks solid with limited time. And you may remember a few times this season, you and I have discussed it multiple times. I think even Jerk and I talked about it when he sat in, was like, fuck, when are we going to see Vlasic again? When are we going to see him?
Yeah.
And talk about moments that preceded unfortunate events, if you follow that Twitter account, on the morning of his return. My favorite writer on the Merc, Pashelka, throws out an article that morning. Says more than 3 months after training camp began, it still remains a mystery when Marc-Édouard Vlasic will play again. And then it was like 3 hours later. He's playing tonight. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, because it just shows not even fucking Curtis Pashelka can get through the teal curtain.
That's what I'm saying. So not to be outdone, Shang had an article the night before Pickles came back that said, Vlasic practicing over a month. When will he ever play again? And then, of course, he came in. So, yeah, dude, that teal curtain is so thick.
So thick.
Dude, so thick. But all of that being said, the only thing that popped in my head is okay, Vlas is back. When's Cooch coming back? I mean, his last name was January 31st. Exactly. He's not even skating, dude. At one time... And I hate to be the guy to say this because I'm one of Couture's biggest fan. When do we put the tag on the toe? You know what I mean?
After he makes his remaining $16 million.
Sure. We all love to get paid. But, I think at some point we just kind of have to admit the worst and just say it is what it is. Unfortunately, this is what it is, but all right. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, he's obviously not good. Even if I don't know anything. Obviously, I'm not an insider. I don't know Logan Couture.
Oh, are we not insiders? We've been doing this for 10 years.
I know.
To this day, evidently, according to Chris.
Which is crazy. Which is wild. But yeah, I don't know, man. But again, I think we're never going to get a real answer on that because again, there's 16 million reasons why we won't.
Yeah. Well, and Couture could very much be fuck y'all. Y'all don't need to know my business. When I'm
No,
ready,
and that's
I'm
fair
ready.
too, and that's and fair to him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We kind of hit it a little bit, but let's get to that great Askarov debate.
Yeah.
I mean, Askarov, to me, he's forcing the Sharks to make a decision. It's like, I dare you to send me down when you look at the numbers.
I'll be mad. I'll be so pissed.
Dude, I would say when all the goalies are healthy, I don't understand how you explain to your fan base sending him down, especially, Vanacek continues to be meh, and Georgiev continues to be like, I don't start playing until I've let in 4.
Right.
Unless that changes, how...
And then I might even let in a few more than that.
Yeah,
We'll
right?
see.
So I sit there and I'm like, how do you explain to the fan base, like, no, we need, despite all that Yaroslav has shown us, the reason why we went and got him, despite what he's shown us with the Barracuda, despite the fact that, if you look at the last 5 starts of every single goaltender the Sharks have had this season, including Mackenzie Blackwood, Yaroslav has posted the best numbers. Yeah, why?
USA wins.
Huh?
USA wins.
Oh, you're a little ahead of me. Well, I mean, but that's what we all kind of, expected to happen.
First ever back-to-back golds for the US. They've never repeated in the World Juniors.
Wow,
Yep.
that's pretty awesome. And when did the score happen? Because I'm still getting like
I don't have the time up on my thing anymore. So
I'm getting pieces. I'm at 12:05 left. And USA's coming out from behind. Oh, that's a nice up pass. Let me guess. If this up, yep, that was it. And there you go. Who the hell's number 2? Stika?
I think it's Tony Stiga. Yeah.
Yeah. So good for you, good sir. All right. So we'll get into the World Juniors in a hot minute. But anyway, back to the Askarov debate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the Sharks could sell sending Askarov back
That's
down.
it.
Like, I don't know how you sell that to instead, unless you have photos of the Calder trophy all around. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how you sell that.
You can't. I don't know how you can't. This is supposed to be like, you were talking, like, there was so much talk about fixing the culture around this team.
And this guy's a fucking goofball. And I say that in the best way.
Mm-hmm. Tony Stiga. What the fuck is wrong with me? But to me, I just, again, I go back and I can't remember. My memory isn't as good for these things anymore. So I don't remember exactly what the situation was for the Sharks when they switched to Nabokka, but I just, to me, it's the same thing. Like, imagine instead of Nabokka being allowed to take the net, you go, nah, we're good to Steve Shields.
No, I was going to say, no, I can. Well, see, it is a little different.
Sure, I think the Sharks were in a more competitive situation.
More competitive, but it was a case of, if you look at it like over the last 3 seasons, and I'm sure Puck Guy can back me up on this if I, back up my memory, but there was a stretch where it was, Eddie Belfour to this fucking guy, and then it was all of a sudden, okay, Steve Shields. And I know that I'm missing a name in there somewhere. There was somebody Mike Vernon. Mike Vernon was going to be the end all and all of that. And then Steve Shields, and then Vernon got dumped for, whatever. Steve Shields, and they get Nabby in there. And I just remember Shields, for whatever reason, got injured. And I was never a Shields fan to be, that 99-0 season. I was just like, I was very much team fuck that guy. Like, I did not like Steve Shields. And then when
Mike Vernon was way past his best before date.
Oh yeah. But when Nabby got that look, and it started against, Patrick Waugh in Colorado, I'm like, that's our boy. That's the fucking guy.
Right.
And that's where I've been at. And so far, every time I've seen Askarov, it's been the same thing.
The exact same thing, right? It's
yep.
That's the guy. That's clearly the guy. So why
are we dicking
at
around?
This point, Right.
But the
I don't
thing is, I can see the reason why we're dicking around is because back then when Nabby took that crease, the
Mhm.
Sharks were competitive and on the come up.
Sure.
Right now, yeah, I mean, you could say they're on the come up when you compare it to last season, but like my beer league team would be on the come up compared to the Sharks last season. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
very low bar, so you have to make that judgment call. You know, do you want him down there with the CUDA trying to like build all that goodwill and, you know, and we know that he's going to be here by the deadline
Yeah.
because somebody's getting moved by then. And even if they're
Maybe. I don't
not,
know.
it's
Like,
like,
are
fuck
you
that
lining
guy.
up for either Georgiev or Vanacek though? That's not a given.
Exactly. So that's why I'm sitting there. I don't even know how the Sharks are going to be able to sell sending Askarov back down. But that's the whole thing. They're going to have to sell it. They're going to have to. This is going to be one of those rare times because this has never really happened before in the social media era when it comes to the Sharks, not like you're talking about earlier with Shields and Nabby, which
Sure.
made a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
But it's how do you sell to this fan base that, let's be honest, limited, a little limited in this where maybe they don't see the whole picture. You're going to have to explain to them if we're sending Askarov back down, here are the reasons.
There's
And
no good reason. Like the only good reason you could give me is that
because
we
the Sharks aren't going to the
pick.
playoffs, and
Right.
you hope that the Barracuda are going to win a Calder. That's literally the only reason to do it.
Well, you want better draft positioning.
Well, to me, that's it comes with that. I mean, it's like basically it's like last season. If you're going to like send out like a Tomas Hertl, or you're going to send out good players, it's like,
Right.
yes, we're doing this in order to put our team in a bad position.
You see, and that's kind of like, and this is why like I don't prescribe to that because one, what's Askarov's record? There's definitely
With
more
the
losses
Sharks?
than wins so far.
With the Sharks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, I don't know, 5-1-1 or something.
So
I don't know.
what
Somebody
I mean?
look it up in the chat. Help us out.
Yeah, you should.
But
I
but 5-1-1, I'm pretty sure I'm within a number. You know.
Let's look at his record with the San Jose Sharks.
Oh, I like Alexander in the chat. He says, "Why don't we just figure out a way to clone Askarov?
Yeah, there you go.
That way he can play on both teams."
He's 3-4.
Fuck off. 3 wins, 4 losses. I don't believe it. There's not even an overtime loss involved in that.
2 of them.
Okay. So what's the like legit? Like you're saying 3-4-2 or?
No, 3-2-2.
Oh, okay. 3-2. Either way, you know, to most people, they're like winning record. Well, I mean, even though if you look at that, you're basically 500.
923 save percentage, 230 goals against average.
Those are, and okay, so the save percentage, that's the number that I, you know, kind of rub one out against.
Sure.
The save percentage, I go, but that's from, you know, a little earlier ago when things are a little different. Look at his goals against and save percentage. For those of you watching at home, you can see it scrolling along the top. Over his last 3 starts, his numbers have been like, I don't know, maybe the best in the NHL. I mean, dude, they are amazing over the last 3 games. 2-1. Okay, yeah, obviously you don't want to lose that one. But
Yeah.
dude, 943 save percentage and a 169 goals against. Holy shit.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like to me, like I just don't think that like the defense is still Swiss cheese. I think he makes
That's
the
the
Sharks
thing.
competitive, but like I don't think that he's going to meaningfully change the tank trajectory.
Oh, see,
significantly.
I completely disagree with you. I think that putting Vlasic in there is like the difference between, you know, like finishing 31st, 32nd versus finishing 26th. Like it's going to be a 5 level. I think the Sharks will win Okay. All right. I know, dude. You just put a stank face on. You just put a stank
Have
face
we
on.
watched Marc-Édouard Vlasic play?
No.
the last-
And I get what you're saying. So you put the stank face on. Let me throw you this. This is some shit that I used to do with Jerk. Let's do it with you.
Okay.
Grab your fucking piece of paper.
Oh,
All right.
Damn it.
And we started game 1 of the second 41, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it right now. You know, if Askarov is allowed to do his thing, dude, I think you could almost double the numbers. Like, I think the Sharks are going to win twice as many games as they did
They might.
in the first half. I think they're like just about every number. Like, they're going to be twice as better on the power play, twice as better on the PK. You know, like on the numbers that matter. Well, okay. I'm sorry. Special teams a little different.
Yeah,
but wins.
I don't know how he's gonna. Have the power
Yeah,
play.
yeah.
Sure
But
as fucking can be by
wins.
playing the puck.
But you get what I'm saying. Like on wins, like if Askarov, if from the moment that we're talking right now, literally at the halfway point, if Askarov is kept up from now until the end of the season, I think the Sharks. What are we right now? 13, 23, and 6. So yeah, I would say the Sharks are going to win 26 of the remaining 40 games.
So they're over 25.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's what I feel. But it's if Askarov is allowed, you know, to do his thing. And
He should be, but I don't. Yeah, that's not a given. I see, but the thing is, like, and that's gonna be the argument people are gonna make, right? Like, oh no, they're gonna win too many games. I don't buy it because I'm not gonna get too overexcited by the last 2 games.
yeah, and you know what? That's a great
because I think that's
you know what
the
though.
problem, right?
I kind of do get a little
It's recency
excited.
bias.
I could say recency bias, but I could also sit there as a person who's been bitching and whining and moaning and complaining about we need to learn how to win. We need to learn how to win. Fuck, they fucking learned how to win against New Jersey, getting that goal from Ceci in the last 30 seconds. Like, how many times earlier in this season that would have been a game that they would have lost 10 minutes earlier? You know what I mean? Like, they held on. And somebody had a great line here on the chat. Hold on.
Okay.
Does that take into account the trade deadline losses? That is a great point.
That's also my
Yeah.
that was what I was gonna say as
Yeah,
well.
I was gonna say
We just need a chance to get there.
oh, I don't know, man. There's just so many ways to look at this. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna say. Where how many points do the Sharks have at this point? Fire it up. What's the NHL thing? How many? I know they're like 30th first in the league. How many points did they have through 41 games? Or would it be 42 at this point?
They have played 42 games.
42
they have 32 points.
32 points. Okay, so I'm going to say over the back half.
Let's go wins.
Well, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. You said they have how many points?
32.
32.
13,
Well,
23,
okay,
and
so
6.
we're going to say 30 points over 41 games. We're not going to count the 42nd game, right?
Okay.
So 30 points over 41 games. I would throw out a couple coin and say they're going to have, you know, like 35, 36, 37, whatever. The amount of points they get in the second half of the season, it's going to be more than the first half. And I'm putting the log on the fire, going back to what our guy said earlier about, well, you know, you got to take into account the deadline. I am taking, which is absolutely correct. But you know what? I feel like maybe the Sharks are getting over that hump of, you know, Lord knows nobody has bitched about Warsofsky. We need to learn how to win more than I have. But you know what? Over this last week, I kind of feel like they have a little.
Yep.
So that's what I'm going to say. You know, it's like if they have 30 points in the first 41, I'm going to say they're going to have 31 or better in the second half, even if they lose some pieces for trade deadline. And you know what? Puck guy, he up here supporting me saying 32 and 42, baby. I don't know. I just know I feel better about this team at the halfway point going forward, even with the trade deadline, staring us in the face. I feel better because you look at some of the things that have happened in the back end. Now, granted, the Sharks, traded Blackwood, and a lot of people could sit there and go, "Well, that was a big," but it opened up that space for Askarov to go, "Excuse me, bitches, while I get all up in your piece." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, don't be wrong. I think, again, I think they're more respectable with Askarov playing. I think that, but I don't think, again, this team lost a bunch of games with him already. I just don't think he's going to single-handedly. No. I just don't think he. I think that he should. Does he give the Sharks better chances to win? 100%, and that's why he should stay, because he's earned it. He's taken the net. I don't know how anyone could even debate that at this point.
Okay. And you're calling it perfectly. So for the fan base or the front office, whoever, tell them why it's a better idea for Askarov to go down. Sell that. Sell that to the fan base. I understand you want Askarov up.
Matthew Schaefer. That's the only thing you can sell is we need to win the lottery again so we can draft Matthew Schaefer and set our blue line forever.
But see, that's the whole thing. That's a solid debate. That's a solid point.
And I don't discount it. And that is going to be the pushback that you will get from should Askarov stay up or down. Yes.
Real deal prime. He put debating Askarov. What's the debate? And the whole thing is keeping him up, sending him down. If you're a Sharks fan and you have season tickets and want to see them win once in a while, you're like, keep Askarov up.
I don't even care I just want them to look respectable.
That too.
It's not even, I don't wins going on a rip doesn't help this team.
Yes, exactly. No way, shape, or form.
But I don't think that's going to happen based on Askarov alone.
Thank you. Yes. And I'm dying to see.
That's my argument for keeping him up. I don't think he doesn't move things significantly enough to put it's not like they're going to go on a run and finish 3 points out of the wild card spot and be in the worst possible position they could ever be in.
No, let's be honest. It's just, it's a couple wins here or there. The guy is, he is the future. He's not the present. And
he should be, though.
He should be.
My argument to this is would you send Macklin Celebrini to the Barracuda to tank for a draft pick? No, of course you fucking wouldn't.
Yeah.
Why would you do that to Askarov?
They're literally Askarov, Celebrini. Literally, both guys have proven that they would own that league. They deserve to be in the show. So if you're going to send them down, at least tell the fans, be transparent. Let us all know what the plan is. That's all I'm saying. And if, at the moment that Vanacek is healthy, if the Sharks come out and say, so we're activating Vanacek off IR and we're putting Georgiev on waivers.
Yeah.
Then I'm fine. I'm sitting there and going, hallelujah, bitches. Let's go. Amen. Right.
That's exactly what should happen.
Yeah. But
then, I don't know if you want, I don't know if you want a pouty face Georgiev with your kids on the Barracuda. That is a concern. That is a concern. But at the same time, man, but again, I just think this is supposed to be a meritocracy. And if a guy's proving that he can play in the NHL, he should play in the NHL. Askarov so far has proven he can play in the NHL. Therefore, he should be an NHL player. You're never going to convince me otherwise. You could try selling a fans on a Calder Cup, but fans don't know the Barracuda exist. If you've ever seen the attendance on a Barracuda game, I'm sorry. Yeah, you can sell them a Calder Cup to the 10 people at a Barracuda game. Great. Those 10 people will love it. But
dude, and that's, it's funny you say that because there was the Barracuda on their social media put out a big graphic. It's thank you for a sellout. We've sold out. And then I'm watching the game and I'm going, man, a lot of fans dressed up as empty seats. And I'm like, if all those tickets were sold, that's great. But I'm just saying, it's not a good look when you're like popping off on all your social media channels that we sold out. And I'm sitting there watching the game on TV and I'm going, or what is it? Flow hockey, whatever the hell it's called.
Flow hockey, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting there watching the game and I'm like, I'm seeing rows. And again, if they're sold, if those tickets are sold, they're sold. That's fine. It's, again, I'm just saying, it's a bad look to tout the horn and people are watching and you're seeing rows of seats. And I love this from California Cruising in the chat. It goes, how many Sharks fans know what the Calder is, though?
That's going to be the trophy Macklin Celebrini wins at the end of the year. That's the only thing I know.
Oh, you are so correct. All right, we have to move on. So, all right, so we got through
okay, wait a second here.
Shit, here we go. What do you need?
Finn's really upset here.
Who?
Look at
Who?
Finn McCarthy in the chat here.
What do you say?
I don't think. Look, if the Sharks don't make the playoffs for 10 years, then something's gone terribly fucking wrong, my friend. Like, I don't think like this team needs to be this, and this is the important thing too, and this is why you want to start like letting guys graduate when they start doing good things, so they can get used to playing NHL games regularly.
Yeah.
Man, if the Sharks are not in the playoffs again by 10 years, like they need to be.
Well,
this
2029
needs to be like a 5-year thing, man.
2029. No, 2029. If he's saying since 2019, which is the last time they were in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they're not in the playoff bubble by 2029, you're gonna be a little upset.
Yeah.
But I will say this to Finn McCarthy. I'll say this right now. If you want to put some scratch on that, I absolutely will. Like, if you want to throw down $50, I will absolutely throw down $50 right now that says the Sharks will, between now and the 29-30 season, the Sharks, between now and that time, the Sharks, I don't care which one it is, but they will make the playoff bubble.
I just don't see it. Like, I think if you count the years that Doug Wilson screwed the fucking
they screwed the pooch. But I'm also taking into account how the trajectory of the Pacific Division. Like, you see, like JT Miller and Pettersson fucking hate each other. They want to kill each other. Like, shit is weird up there. Calgary, Edmonton is never going to get over the hump as long as Connor's there, right? Because he eats up all the money. LA has been.
I just can't wait.
Anaheim is never going to
get him out of town.
I just feel like I think like the Sharks could like sneak in. They could sneak in between now and 29-30. They could sneak in.
I think like if you're thinking like I will give you that. Obviously, like there was years that Doug Wilson completely screwed the pooch and this thing wasn't getting rebuilt, and I will agree with you on there. But I think if you're looking now at what we have now, and then you're looking 10 years out, and then like you think that there's still going to be this bottom feeding mess, like something would have to go so terribly, like, and that's maybe
10 years from now?
Not what fucking way. Maybe I'm misrepresenting Finn here. Like, are you saying like 10 years from now? Because this rebuild didn't start until like a couple of years ago. That's the thing, right?
Dude, the rebuild started when Joe Will handed Hurdle that extension. Actually, the rebuild started when Doug Wilson gave Erik Karlsson 8 years. That's when it started. If we're being absolutely
took over.
I'm sorry?
The rebuild started when Mike Grier took over.
Well, I mean, like, technically, yes. But, like, if you do the tree and dial it all back.
That matters. Because if you're just going to go from when they were bad and Doug Wilson thought, we're just a
fucking puck-moving defenseman away from getting the cup. Fuck you. No.
We're closer than people think. Remember that?
Oh, that's my favorite headline ever. We're closer than people. No, you're not. All right, Finn, hit me up. on if you want to get this done, we'll set this up.
I just want to know what we're arguing here, because like I think if you're looking from now and you think like in 10 years this is still going to be
I don't know
mess,
what
then
is Finn arguing about. I was just looking to try to make a couple bucks. Anyway, let's
Okay.
move on.
Okay.
So we got through Vlasic, we got through Askarov. Mid-season review.
Mhm.
We're not going to fucking go down the black hole, the wormhole of like, player by player. This guy, yes, this guy. We're not going to do the grading. We did that, at the third of the way thing. So, oh shit, hold on. Let me deal with the chat for a hot second. Sempcast, AJ, that's the takedown, quote unquote takedown. I don't know what that means. We lost Pavs. Loved Carl as a Shark. No offense. But guys were devastated. Hold on. That Carlson got so much money in Pavs left. Sempcast, dude, I've literally done hour-long podcasts on literally what you've said. If I have to do it again, we'll do it next week. Okay, so anyway, mid-season review. We're not going to go down the black hole of player by player. We're just going to say, hey, let's have some fun with this. We're going to go, we're going to do the hat trick. We're going to say 3 things we liked, 3 things we didn't like, 3 things that we have expectations for as we go forward. And then just for the goofs, for the laughs, I'm going to say 3 dumbass predictions. And so I'll start the 3 things that I have liked over the first half of the season. Dem kids, which of course, Celebrini, Smith, the limited time that Graf is at. You ask Jerk, you ask a lot of the Teal Town people. I have been Jules. I'm a Graf guy. I'm supporting some Graf. So I love me some dem kids. I loves me some Tyler Toffoli. That was a guy that, like, when they signed him, I was just like, that is a guy that you again, ask Puck Guy, ask Jerk. I bought an LA Kings Stadium Series jersey when they played Colorado, and they're like, who are you going to put on the back of that? And I'm like, oh, who else would I put? Toffoli, bitches. So I loves me some Toffoli. And then the other piece that I have really enjoyed when they've been put together, when you dial up the Rubik's Cube, I coined the phrase "lunderful." The Lunderful line, Zetterlund, Granlund, Eklund, loves me those kids. So those are the 3 things that I like. Ian, and you can snake some of mine if you like, but those are my 3 likes. What are your 3 likes?
Yeah, so I went a little hardcore. Obviously the signs of things to come, right? If you look at what the Sharks have done since the rebuild began, and even a little bit before it, technically, because William Eklund wasn't a Mike Grier guy, but obviously it's true. But like William Eklund obviously is on pace for a breakout season, and just the way his game has improved defensively as well, night and day from last year. Obviously Celebrini being everything that he was hyped up to be so far is super nice. I think Will Smith shows signs of being something special. Obviously he has a little more to figure out than Celebrini does, but I still liked what I've seen, and then and guys like Zetterlund coming in and
Hell yeah.
Zetterlund's been really good, and I really liked his game. Like, you're starting to see guys that are gonna be here when this is quote unquote over, or when the team's back on the come up again. Like, you're starting to see the differentiation between those guys and everyone else, right? Like, it's getting really easy to see, these guys are going to be a part of the future for this team, and these guys are the ones that we're going to throw overboard. And so far, a lot of those guys have really been really, really good. Number 2 for me is call-ups that make sense. This year,
what are those?
Right. As Sharks fans, like, we don't know, this is, this year, we haven't seen the likes of, and I'm not trying to diss these guys. Like, don't
fuck them.
like, we haven't seen the likes of a Podorowski getting a call up or a Lucas Carlson getting a call up. Whenever
But
they've
is
needed to
it
call somebody up,
is
it's
that
been
because is that a case of their age though?
well, but in previous years, those were the guys that did get called up. The career AHL tweener.
But I was gonna say there was a player last season that got a call up that was like, like 32, 33.
Yeah.
So who was I can't remember who that was. But I look at Podorowski.
Ryan Carpenter.
No, it wasn't him, but I feel you. But like, yeah, I look at Podorowski and I'm like, he is killing it with the CUDA. Why is he? Oh, because he's 30. You know what I mean?
Right. He's not like he's and those are the guys that used to get the call up, was like the journeyman tweener guys.
But now they're the guys that are supposed to steer the ship for the younger crew.
Right. So now you've got Collin Graf getting called up. You've got Gush. Like, there hasn't been a call up where I'm like, why? Ethan Cardwell,
Yes.
Muka Madulin,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not guys that. It's not
Who's
guys that.
Gushkin? Yeah, Gushin, Cardwell, Graf. Yeah, you're not complaining about these guys.
No, because these guys are
sense.
guys that they brought in to be part of the future. So why, and yeah, okay, you want to over marinate sometimes, but in this
It's a
situation, again,
reward.
it's supposed to be a meritocracy. It's supposed to be, you do good, you get called up.
Yeah,
That is
reward
what we
for
were sold.
kicking
That's
ass.
the culture we're trying to build.
Absolutely.
But yet, for a long time, that wasn't what was happening. It was guys like Egazino getting called up, and instead of giving kids a shot, right?
Yep. And like a Tiger saying, Bordalo needs a call up. No, he fucking doesn't. Like, I mean, he's had a decent last 5 games, but I need to see some more consistency from Thomas.
I think I like Thomas Bordalo.
I
I'm not
like him.
completely sour on him, but he's been passed on the depth chart.
Yeah. And so that's the point. And then Skylar saying Sabrin needs a look. And I'm going,
Skylar needs to fuck off. He's just trying to he's trying to
yank your crank.
He's trying to yank my chain. I know exactly what he's
All right.
I know exactly what he's doing.
So on the dislikes, so we had our likes.
Wait, I got one more.
Oh shit, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And then obviously it's Yaroslav Askarov. Mike Greer took a big swing getting Askarov. Most teams in the Sharks position don't trade futures for pieces, but Mike Greer identified a gaping hole in our depth chart
and took advantage of Nashville's situation.
Correct. And again, like Askarov, this is a guy that a lot of people talk about being a franchise goalie, and so far,
so good.
I don't know how anyone could doubt it.
So far, so good. On the dislike side, again, it's like 3 up, 3 down.
Mhm.
Dislikes. Barclay Goodrow. Dude, I'm going to get to you because I'm going to talk about you a little bit later. So I'm just going to say Barclay Goodrow. I'll get into it later. Another dislike that I have, Logan Couture still being hurt. Chief hasn't played since January, basically a full calendar year. Chief hasn't played. I don't even know that he's skating. And that sucks. And I don't say that in a way like, fuck him. Why is he not saying? No, I don't say that in a fuck that guy way. I say that in I feel bad. My heart hurts for that guy. I wanted him to finish his season, his career. I wanted him to be just like Vlasic, lifelong Shark. That's what I wanted for Couture, to finish out as the captain. And to see the way it's gone down, I just, it makes my heart hurt. And on one hand, I understand business has to be done. On the other hand, he's a human being. So that's what I haven't liked. It's just him not being able to play, but the Sharks not being able to work something to just go, we hate to say it, Chief, but you're done. Enjoy fatherhood, but we need to, cut you the check and move on to other things. Because God knows I have a photo hanging in my office here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally Couture, Jesus pose from that third goal during what? Game 7, reset the counter. It was that third goal when that tying goal and all the CO2's coming down, all that smoke. He's in Jesus pose. It just bums me out to see Couture. There's a song by Cypress Hill called "We Ain't Going Out Like That," and
Yep.
every time I think about Couture, that song pops in my head. Finally, for my third hat, the last end of my hat trick of dislikes, it's just been this blue line.
Yeah.
It hasn't been good. So, and I'll just leave it there. You give me your hat trick of dislikes.
I'll start where you finished. The blue line outside of Wallman, Thompson, Mook-Madulin, and the lesser extent Liljegren.
Yep. We'll say you were just more specific than I.
Yeah. There are some bright spots, but everything else has been pretty fucking terrible. My number 2 dislike is the teal curtain.
Oh, solid.
I am so sick of just the dumbest shit, right? Look at when the Sharks finally do make the playoffs, they're going to be totally ready because they never tell you anything like it's game 7 of the fucking Stanley Cup final.
You're so right. So right.
Right? Like, oh my God. And then obviously my third dislike is Georgiev, who is one of my least favorite goalies in the league, who is now a San Jose Shark and has shown everyone why I dislike him so much. I hate that, and this is why I like having Askarov up, and I think you should see the games are watchable, man. These games for me,
absolutely,
and this is selfishly speaking, these games for me start at 10:30 at night.
It's commitment, dude.
It's a fucking commitment, man. And there's nothing worse than on a night where I don't have to work, being up all night and being like, oh yeah, they got worked 5-1 and they look, and Georgiev couldn't stop a beach ball.
Yeah.
It's the worst, man. Yeah, that's mine.
All right. So I'm going to go to valid expectations between now and the off season. And I got a couple.
Okay.
I'm going to say Zetterlund gets extended. I don't feel that that's a huge reach.
No, that should happen. If that doesn't happen, then get your pitchforks.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like the multiple people have talked about that. I think we have talked about that. I think that is very Captain Obvious territory.
Yep.
Maybe a little less Captain Obvious, but I still feel like a valid expectation. Mike Grier will find a trade partner for Cody Ceci or Jan Ruda, but not both. He's going to move one or the other. He's not going to be able to move both. Because while there are a lot of dumb GMs in the league, there's not that many. And finally, I think is a valid expectation, Celebrini will lead the team in goals and assists by the end of the season, despite missing 12 games already. I think he's going to lead the team in goals and assists, despite Toffoli's best efforts and Granlund's.
I was going to say, does that mean Granlund's no longer on the team?
Exactly. But those are my spicy meatballs. But when I say the valid expectations, like I'm not sitting there and go, well, by fucking Valentine's Day, I expect Mike Grier to be handing out water bottles to the these are, reasonable expectations, not like stupidity, which those ones we'll get into in a minute. So what are your 3 valid expectations?
Yeah, so I'm going to start the same way you did. Obviously, I think Zetterlund's going to get extended. That's should be no brainer. My number 2, though, actually differentiating from you, I think Granlund's going to get an extension. I don't think Granlund's getting traded. I think that the Sharks, and I actually think the Sharks should probably I know it's going to make the tank people really mad at me, but hear me out. I think that Granlund should get extended because I don't think, again, if the goal is to continue improving, how do you improve if your
How do you prove upon
1-2
perfection?
is Celebrini and Wenberg,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, I just think when you look at, I think when you look at Granlund's done, and look at, maybe they could go hunting in free agency and pick up a guy that might do it. I'm not saying they should extend him for a long period of time. 2-3 years, I think, is a perfectly acceptable extension for Granlund. I think that,
But he's
again, I don't
32?
think, yeah, because I don't think that the Sharks have. I think that the Sharks center depth without him would not be good, because they don't have somebody that's going to come in and be able to fill that spot. Like,
See, I totally
Will
agree
Smith
with you.
isn't going to be able to be the number 2 center on this team next year. He's basically been shunted to wing. I think
Dude, he's
eventually
a winger for the next 3 seasons.
I think they'd like him to go there, but I think that's a lot. That would be a real risky move, thinking that he would be ready to play center in the NHL next season based on how this season has gone. And I don't think there's anyone else in the pipeline that can come up. And, I don't like the idea of Celebrini and Wenberg being your 1-2.
Dude, I'm totally with you on this. From everything I've seen, it seems like Granlund is enjoying being in San Jose. He's clearly going to get the ice time.
Yep.
He has his countrymen on the left side and the right side, all Lund all the time. It's beautiful. And I'm seeing Bob in here on the chat, which is annoying me. He says, Granlund's been down a bit since the concussion. I mean, sure, you can say that, but like during that time where Granlund's come back, has he had the other Lunds on his wings the whole time? No, because Eklund was out for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, it's me love some Mikhail, and so that's my jam. I'm like you talk about like having a fence post right up your caboose, because on one hand you're like, this is a guy who's going to help your team. He I hate to say it, it's so fucking cliche. He plays the right way. He's somebody who does what you need to do. But then again, it's like, he's so fucking valuable, but he might be, beyond the scope of where you want to go. That, okay, maybe this is a piece that's so valuable, you need to move him. So for me, the Granlund thing, to me, is we're sitting here talking mid-season shit. Granlund is easily the piece that I think is most going to have the white hot spotlight on him. He just fits with so many other pieces around the league. It's literally going to come down to Mike Grier saying, is this return enough for a guy who is killing it in our room, is leading it in our room, and clearly loves being in our room?
Yeah, like, to me, it just, like, I think it's a guy that, and especially when you look at what you have, like, what are you're gonna replace him with Mikhail Wenberg?
Yeah,
Not Mikhail Wenberg, Alex Wenberg.
No,
Like, you're gonna replace him
right.
with fucking Wenberg? Like, I like Wenberg, but he should never be a 2C.
But they're both centers.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be a 2C. He shouldn't be your second center.
Yeah, no, not at all. I get
Right?
you. Hold on, Nick in the chat, because we always go to the super chat. I want to keep Granlund too, even if you get a late first. That's a quote maybe third liner 4 years down the road, not some huge windfall acquisition. I agree with you, Nick. And the other thing is, Grier has done a spectacular job of moving out, whether it's Timu or Brent Burns or Hurdle. He's moved Carlson. He's moved out amazing amounts of huge pieces. He's gotten back so many picks. Jesus Christ. Somehow Mike Grier got Detroit to say, here, have your best defenseman and take a second round pick with it for nothing.
And that's and obviously, and that is obviously if he wants to stay. Like, and that is obviously a factor. But if I am Mike Grier, I'm trying to get it done. So that is my second valid expectation, because I just don't see what you do.
Yeah.
And then obviously my other one is fucking off Sturm, Ruda, Ceci, Cunnin.
Fuck those kids.
Yeah, because Because again, like those guys, they're all on expiring deals, and I think that as good as Luke Cunnin has been for the Sharks this year, and as much as it makes my stomach turn to say that, but I think he has had a good season for the Sharks.
He has.
But so I think it's a situation where his value is never going to be higher, and
take advantage.
The Sharks have, he stopped me if you've heard me say this before. The Sharks have a lot of that guy.
Are you trying to say there's a factory about?
They have a lot of that guy. Like Luke Cunnin doesn't bring anything you can't get from Title Andrea or Barclay Goodrow or all
three
these
other guys that are on the Cuda right now.
Yeah, or you know what I mean? Like I just think they have a lot of guys that can play that role.
Yeah.
And like the value for him is never going to be higher. But I wouldn't be shocked if he's kept around. But I think that reasonably speaking, I think all those guys should be fucked off.
All right.
And
all right. So those are the expectations that make sense. And now we're going to get into the real quick dumb predictions. I'm going to do mine real quick. Yep. It's Granlund's going to get extended. And I say that's a dumb prediction because I think he's so valuable, but his age and where he's at, I think Greer is going to say it's more valuable for him to return something back in the way of picks or prospects versus what he brings to the room.
But AJ, the Sharks can't retain salary, which means they're not going to move anybody.
Of course.
Remember?
And so that's why I call this a dumb prediction.
Okay.
My second dumb prediction is Georgiev gets waived. And my third dumb prediction for the rest of the season is Marc-Édouard Vlasic will finish the season. He's only going to play half of it, of course. Well, unless he gets injured. But whatever he plays, he will finish the season with a positive plus-minus.
All right. That's
off board, isn't it? All right. Do you have any a dumb prediction or two, or are you good to go?
Yeah, my dumb predictions. I mean, just based on what I said earlier, Askarov finishing the Sharks season on the Barracuda would be dumb.
Right.
Another dumb prediction because I don't think it's going to happen. I always have a hard time with dumb predictions. I said that Bordelot does not get a call up this year, which I think is dumb. I think he probably gets a look considering he's on the last year of his current deal.
Dude, I feel like the Sharks have they're just running out the clock on boards for whatever reason. Like they did.
I don't know, man. I'm not super sour on the player. I just think that he's been passed in the depth chart a little bit.
That's what I'm saying.
He was injured to start the year, and
I'm not saying he's Goldobin. I'm just saying, he's just been, like you're saying, like there's too many people that have run past him on the ladder.
Yeah. And my other dumb prediction is Brandon Coe somehow getting an extension.
I'm rooting for it though. All right, so a few more things here before we move on to a new segment that I have in the key. By the way. Is Celebrini's name already on the Calder?
It should be. I mean, obviously we gotta finish playing the games, but I can't imagine if he keeps up the pace where he's at, where he's like a near point per game player, or continues obviously leading rookies in goals because people like goals. I know the people in Montreal are going to get mad because their guy's a defenseman, and being a defenseman is hard. But what Macklin Celebrini is doing at 18 is just unreal. Sick. And I just feel like when you look at his complete game, and plus not only his complete game, but the fact that he is putting up the points, like it's going to be hard for him to lose the Calder, in my opinion.
Dude, it's just so sick. And so moving on from that, I have to say, dude, watching NHL coverage, whether it's on like NHL Network, TSN, ESPN, TNT, I don't give a fuck. Dude, it's starting to piss me off. Like it's like I'm about to be that Michael Jordan meme. Like I took that shit personally, where it's like, why is it that Bedard is like on every single promotion for the NHL? He's getting his shaft cranked nonstop, while Celebrini only gets his cookies on social media. You're like, what more does Celebrini have to do? Because let's be honest,
play on a team that doesn't play at 10:30 at night when most of the media are watching.
And that's the thing that pisses me the fuck off. because so far, when I wake up on any given morning between the start of the season to now, let's be honest, I got to drop a deuce, I grab the phone, I'm sitting there dropping a deuce, and I'm going, and I'm scrolling through. Okay, anything interesting happening in the league? Any cool shit that happened the night before? And it's fucking Bedard, and then all of a sudden, ooh, Celebrini. And the thing is, all the Celebrini things, they're way cooler than the Bedard shit. And it's just pissing me off where it's just kind of like, oh, okay. Bedard is getting his crank yanked because he's in Chicago. It's like he's in the third media market, blah, blah, blah. So I can't wait.
That helps.
Yeah, of course it helps, but I can't wait for like 10 years from now. And I want to even though Bedard's been in the league a year more, I'm like, I want to put the numbers, put them on the board, bitches. And I want to see, it's like, does Celebrini have more goals, more assists, more points, more, special teams points, all of that shit? Because I would bet right now he's gonna. And so I see that shit, and it just pisses me. Like, I want to punch Celebrini. No, I don't want to punch Celebrini. I want to punch. I want to punch Bedard in the dick right now. And the thing is, it has nothing to do with him. It has to do with the douchebags at the NHL that are, they've put the promotion mechanism into play, and it's all bullshit, and it's all because of. Oh, well, he plays in Chicago, but I don't give a flying
also the
fuck.
hype, the things that he did,
how many people were talking about the Capitals before Ovechkin started playing there? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? With Connor Bedard, I think the hype is because a lot of people still think he's a generational player, and he might be. I really like him. I think as a player, he's really, really good.
Sure. But he's not the only player.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing that gets me. It's like, yeah, he's great, but he's not the only one. The other thing I'm going to ask you is Celebrini becoming quickly the leader that the Sharks want, but also the leader that the Sharks need? Because I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
I feel like the Sharks were kind of a rudderless ship last year. And that's not a slam on Logan because he was only there for 6 games. You know what I mean? I feel like last year it was a rudderless ship. Despite the fact with Celebrini not having that letter, I feel like he is quickly becoming the leader that not only that we want, but the one that the Sharks need.
Oh, he's gonna have a letter next year.
Dude, I think he's gonna have the C for the next decade.
As well he should.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's first on, last off, is doing more than anybody else, is fucking hates losing more than anything.
Yeah, I think I would not be shocked if Celebrini is the captain as soon as next year.
Oh, absolutely. Despite the fact that Couture has one more year left on his deal.
Yeah,
right?
And I guess I did forget about Logan Couture. Obviously,
who?
Again, I see, and I mean, I understand that. I understand that, but I think at this point next year, if Logan Couture isn't skating,
I mean, come
what
on.
are we doing?
Yeah, can we not acknowledge reality? That's a little bit of it, and. I saw.
No, obviously, if Logan Couture comes back, it's fine. Logan Couture has 2 years left on his deal. He's not
coming back.
But if he does, I don't mind him keeping the C because, he's earned it. It should be he should go out on it. I don't want the Sharks need to stop being the team where guys lose their captaincy and then stay on the team forever.
Like Marlowe, like Thornton.
Yeah.
Ruben in the chat saying, Celebrini, he'll have an A or a C on his chest before we know it. But I saw him. What did he say?
He'll have a letter next year. Like I said, and if Couture's not skating again, he should be the captain.
Yeah, but you know what it is I think I posted Ruben's comment. I meant to post somebody else. I don't know where it went. It's all right. Chris saying, no, you know who's getting the C is Luke Cunningham. Sure, why not?
I mean, Marco would get it before him.
All right. Zetterlund, Granlund, do both sign before the deadline? Just one or none of them?
Oh, that's good.
Right?
I feel like if Granlund doesn't sign before the deadline, then he's probably on his way out, I would imagine. Zetterlund, there's no rush. He's a restricted free agent. They have all the time in the world to negotiate that deal. So,
yep.
Like, would it surprise me if they had a
both
deal in
seem
hand
to
for
really
Zetterlund
like
tomorrow?
it here.
Yeah, would it surprise me if they had a deal in hand for Zetterlund tomorrow? No, but it's not pressing business at the same time, right? Granlund's a little more pressing. I think if he's staying, it's probably done before the trade deadline. You'd imagine.
Well, and to be quite honest, the Zetterlund deal, it might already be in pocket. It just hasn't been announced yet.
Possible.
You know, and this is somebody who, and so let me just say this. I think I can get away with saying this without betraying anybody's, trust. But there was a discussion. Eric and I, Puck guy, Kura and I went into we went into the bowels of the Shark Tank. We dared to speak to Doug Wilson, and during that discussion, I forget what it was who exactly we were speaking about, but I said something along the lines of, well, I hope he's not feeling, like, I hope we didn't get the Setaguchi deal where, if you remember, to the, the broad public, it was like, day 3 of whatever month, like Devin Setaguchi signs 4-year deal with San Jose Sharks. And like 3 days later, it was Devin Setaguchi traded to the Minnesota Wild with this guy and this guy for Brent Burns and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, holy fuck, right? And so Eric and I had a discussion for, I can't remember exactly what we're talking about, but it was at the end of it, like I said, I made a funny reference. And I was like, well, as long as he doesn't get done like Setaguchi. And to his credit, Doug Wilson said, oh, Seto knew about that like a month before that was announced. Like, was like, he was like, that was all done before it was even announced. Like, it was all like, it's not like he found out on social media. He knew about that well before. And I was like, no shit. So that being said, who knows what has been discussed, like Zetterlund, there might be a deal in pocket right now that they just can't, they don't want to announce. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't, though.
All right, we're going to move on to our normal segment that for the longest time we've called Stock Up, Stock Down. We've called Ferda, like Ferda Boys, or Figure It Out. But I told Jerk tonight, and maybe for the ongoing future, we're going to call the Applaud fraud.
Oh, wow.
And so the Applaud. Yaroslav Askarov, 2 games this week, 2 wins. Won both. 945 goals against, 1.5 save percentage. Are you fucking kidding me? And you go and look at him following the Jersey game. He's out there. He's got the #1 star. He's skating out there. And he's like, I can't hear you, Sharks fans. He's high-fiving Sharky coming back. This guy's a bit of a goofball. Askarov, dude, you are Ferda. You're the guy that I'm applauding this week. Same for you, Ian, or do you got somebody else?
Yeah, it's. I feel like it's the same fucking every week, man. It's Askarov and Celebrini. Like,
so Celebrini. There you go.
Yeah, like it's just they continue to make the Sharks watchable, and that is
Watchable.
and that is a feat when considering, obviously 2 wins are nice and those are the most fresh in our minds, but let's not forget the pain of December to get there.
Yes, very true. Very true. For the fraud of the week, to figure it out, dude, Barclay Goodrow, not the first time he's been named in this list and probably won't be the last. Dude, you've been busted down to the 4th line. You got fucking walked by Sealer in the Philadelphia game. I mean, like, embarrassingly so.
Mhm.
You have the worst face-off percentage on the team this week. You have the worst plus-minus on a team that includes Mario Ferraro. Okay, you're -21, Ferraro's -18 coming into this morning. Now that's saying something. So, I mean, dude, I mean, I guess they're paying for Goodrow's presence in the room. I don't know anybody else, any other team, paying $3.5 million that is bringing so little to the ice. Is he really this much better than Dellandrea? Is he? I don't know.
No, he's not better Luukkonen either.
That's what I'm saying. No,
Yeah,
not
I
better,
mean, look,
and I say the Dellandrea thing only because I mean Acimont, Acimont when you do the trade tree, it was like basically the Sharks traded Acimont for Dellandrea. I would take Acimont despite the 4-year age difference, but I'm telling you, as pissed off as Goodrow was for, how the Rangers, quote unquote, screwed him into the Sharks claiming him. You know what? The Sharks, I think, should be just as pissed off at Goodrow for not living up to anything at this point.
Well, we want to talk money. I mean, that deal is impossible to live up to because that deal is dumb. And I don't get mad at it because we didn't sign it. So I mean, care.
Yeah, but you know what? You're absolutely right. And where did that dumb deal start? Tampa giving up.
No, it started with the Rangers. The Rangers signed him to that stupid deal.
No. But I mean, it all started with Tampa giving up a 1st-round pick to get him.
Yeah, but they won a Stanley Cup. So I mean,
well, all right, fair point. Fair point.
They won 2 of them.
All right, fuck you.
So I mean, it kind of worked out for them. Like, it was dumb. Don't be wrong. Like, it's dumb. And then the Rangers giving him that much money was stupid, but that was owner interference.
Stupid.
So I don't get mad at the money because the Sharks didn't sign the contract. So whatever, right?
Yikes.
My stock down, booing, whatever. Henry Thrun.
Really? I thought he had a good week this week.
No, see, I disagree. I don't think he's been good. I feel like Henry Thrun is quickly on the Mario Ferraro development path, and he concerns me.
Oh, I would disagree. I think actually, like, Mario Ferraro the last week or so has actually had some of his best hockey. Like, I feel like he's gotten some looks. He's gotten like the fucking chain unshackled. He's been able to go out and do some things, and maybe it's because there's other players that it was just like, let's be honest. All right, so Mukhamadullin and Wallman are hurt. We got no other options. We're gonna put your ass out there. You know what I mean? But I think he's made the most of it.
Good this year, and I think that now, like, with Vlasic back in the lineup, it's going to be interesting to see how much, because it's going to be he's basically competing now with Mukhamadullin for ice. So
yeah, but Mukhamadullin is waiver exempt, right?
Yeah.
So is he really competing? You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. Like, but I think Henry Thrun's a guy like who he's not a veteran like a guy like Cody Ceci or Jan Ruda.
But so, I think the Sharks are more interested in trying to trade a Ceci or Ruda when it comes to
probably.
That time.
I just wonder if, like, Henry Thrun's a guy who I think could be very quickly, depending on how some of these defensemen develop, he could very quickly be passed on this depth chart.
Okay, that I agree with you. A lot of hype. That I agree with you. Like, I feel like, is he that much better than Cagnoni? Is he that much? But even like Cagnoni, I'm kind of like, he's I don't want to say Matt Carl, but maybe more of a like Cagnoni, unfortunately, makes me think of Ryan Merkley, where it's like special team specialist, but
Well, that's what he's
sucks
supposed to
5-on-5.
Yeah, but that's what he's supposed to be. That's working as intended, I think. Like I think with Luca Cagnoni, like it's a situation where I think that the grind of the schedule is caught up to him a little bit. I'm not worried about Cagnoni. Yeah, he's been a little quiet as of late, but I think that is playing pro hockey is hard. It's harder than playing junior hockey.
It's hard, man.
Like I just like Henry. I don't know. Like Henry Thrun is a guy who I look at who was obviously signed. Who's a guy that they tried to sign, and who I think they took a flyer on to try and be. But I don't. When I look at this completed Sharks team, as young as Henry Thrun is, I don't see Henry Thrun on it.
Well, and what did the Sharks give up? Like a fourth to Anaheim?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not a huge. I'm one of those guys where I'm more than willing to give up a lottery ticket for something that has a little proof of value. If you get what I'm saying.
No, I look at. I think it was a good. But I haven't been. I've been really disappointed with him this year.
Yeah. No, I get that. But I think, see, that's something that I'm going to put in my dumb predictions. Second half, like somebody run the numbers right now. Goals, assists, points, time on, well, okay, obviously not time on ice, but like the normal numbers, I'm going to say double all of them. And I'm going to say he's going to add like what is his average time on ice right now? Add 2.5 minutes to that. Like I think he's going to get better. But of course, I can also sit there and go, well, yeah, because the Sharks are going to trade Ceci or Ruda, so of course he's going to move it. Either way, you get what I'm saying. I think he's going to improve. I don't think that Thrun right now is an asset that the Sharks are willing to give up on right now between now and next October. Nick in the super chat, thank you so much for the super chat, said Thrun gave up 5 breakaways versus Philly, including 2 back-to-back on the same shift. But hold on, wait. But he gets a tongue bath from Bobrovsky post-game. I don't know. See, that's the thing is if Thrun is playing the 6th guy on the Winnipeg Jets,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, it's like, solid piece. Again, I go back to the whole thing of like, I feel that sometimes the Sharks are perhaps, and Ferraro, to me, that I think we've discussed this a multitude of times. The D is so lacking that I feel like guys are being deployed. They're, like above their skis, if you get what I mean.
Sure, that fair.
And
I don't know. I don't think much of him. I mean, I'm definitely willing to change my mind on him if they can improve the blue line. Maybe with a better partner, he's better. But I just think like I think that he's probably, because of the play of some of the other defensemen, he's probably avoided the spotlight a little bit more than he probably should have, because he hasn't been good.
Well, I was going to say the 3 games this week, he was quote unquote, like if you look at Pashelka and Shang, Thrun was quote the top pair with Cody Ceci.
I get it.
And I'm like I mean, you're kind of putting the whitest, hottest spotlight on on a guy who doesn't have any kind of sunscreen. You know what I mean?
But I mean, yeah, but see, here's the problem, and this is why this concerns me though, and this is why I say he's on kind of like the Mario Ferraro development path, is because that was Mario Ferraro, right? Top pair minutes, Burns.
Yeah,
Burns,
but
Burns,
when
Burns.
Ferraro, I will say, to be fair, I feel like when Ferraro joined this team, like playoffs were something that was an aspiration and like a realistic goal.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you're right that he's playing over his head, but I just think that because of the way he's getting used over, like that was Mario Ferraro too, and it didn't work out for him at all.
All right, and I feel that. I can respect that. Nick coming in back in with the super chat. Thank you so much for the donation. Askarov deserves first star of the week for giving up 3 goals only with the top pair of Ceci and Thrun. You know what, Nick? I'm gonna have to agree with you on there. Gonna have to agree with you.
Askarov's great.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he absolutely is. What else? All right, we got a few more things to tidy ourselves over. We got to start dialing this shit out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sam Dickinson, Sharks prospect, evidently got tired of scoring so many goals for his own team. He decided to score for the other team in the World Juniors. I mean, I know Canadians are nice, but come on, man.
Yeah. Let's
was-
park there for a second.
That was harsh.
He did not have a good World Juniors at all.
He did not.
Really not a great showing. I mean, Canada was kind of a mess to
A
begin
little bit
with.
of I think the word you're looking for is ass, but yeah.
It was bad. Like I don't want to go into another World Junior tirade, but I will say this because I know people are probably thinking about this right now. I'm not worried about Sam Dickinson though. I don't think he had a good World Juniors, but I think that sometimes either positively or negatively, we tend to overemphasize this tournament.
Yes. Yes.
It's a small sample size of games. I think that this is a team that decided they didn't need to practice at all, apparently. I'm not worried. I don't think you should be worried about Sam Dickinson at this point. Like if you watch the World Juniors, I don't think you should worry about him right now. Yeah, obviously, like I think London is a wagon and that does need to be played factor into, but I think that a lot of guys had a really bad World Junior wearing the maple leaf this year. I wouldn't sweat it. I wouldn't sweat it. I think he's going to be fine. Again, it's one of those things where it was a bad tournament, and that should be acknowledged. But I don't think that we should be. Basically, oh God, what a bust at 18 years old.
Yeah. Like, Canada needs to be relegated, like just end the country. That's all. Yeah. Like everybody calm down. Let's see what else happened before we get into NHL as a whole. The new Brody Brazil content. Brody doing that stuff for the Sharks has evidently dropped starting with the Tampa Bay game. So if you want to hook yourself up, if you miss Brody on the pre-post and him wrapping everything up, go to the Sharks account. That will get you your fix in 7 starts. We said it earlier. Dude, Blackwood killing it with Colorado, as you would hope. If anything, it just pisses you off as a Sharks fan where you're like, the Sharks should have got more. And I understand. I feel your pain. Finally, you have to realize taxes in California must be really, really bad. When your number 1 draft pick and the number 4 overall the year before are jumping on Cameo for their services. Hey, you need me to say happy birthday to somebody, or you want to ask me a question, get a pep talk, get advice. Hey, throw me 300, throw me 200, whoever, whatever. It's all good.
Oh, wow.
Dude, the fact that the kids are, you know what I think is so funny? It's just kind of like, man, like what, 15, 20 years ago, the kids that, dude, it would be like, okay, what nefarious shenanigans are they doing? It's like, like what hookers, like you're just watching out for hookers and blow. And they're like, no, we're cool. We just sit in our, in our hotel room looking at Cam and going, who do we need to say happy birthday? So you let them know. I'll be back.
Yeah, please, you let me there. I have nothing to say on that. I mean, it's fine. I'm gonna answer a couple of things in the chat here quick. Felix asking me, how do I feel about what they said in the aftermath of the tournament? Look at here. All I'm gonna say is this: in a tournament that is supposed to be your best players under 20, you should probably bring your best players that are under 20 that fit that criteria. I don't know, man. Like they're tired. I'm sure Team USA practiced. I'm sure Team Finland practiced in Sweden. I'm sure all the and the teams that actually traveled transatlantically to get here. I'm sure they all practiced. Man, I have no time for anything that management group says. And I just think it's look at when you're Canada. I hate this mentality. Oh, you can't expect them. Yes, you can. They're Team Canada. They should medal every year. Period. Like that should be the goal. So yeah, that's what I think about that. Tiger saying Bouillon was terrific. Yeah, I thought Bouillon was good. I don't think this is a zero-sum fucking game.
Wait a minute. I went from cameo to Bouillon? Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's like you can like both. I don't think it's like, I don't know, man. I like it again. I'm not worried about Dickinson. And I hate the and we should have just drafted this guy instead after the fact. Like it's Sam Dickinson's the guy they drafted. That's what I'm focused on now.
Hey, you know what? I'm pretty happy with that draft pick. I'm just saying. Oh, Chris. Oh my gosh, Chris in the house. Chris, we're gonna get to you in just a hot minute or so. So anyway, the fact that the kids are on Cameo, I think that's God damn those taxes in California.
I should be on Cameo for
I know, right?
$2.50. I will say nice things about you.
All right, let's get to the NHL at large. Dude, Ovechkin, he's back. He's chasing the record. Dude, whichever team and goalie allows the tying goal, the go-ahead goal, it's going to be a trivia question. Who wants that? And the thing is that if you parse that shit out, it's looking like the game. Where is that? Fuck. March 15th, Saturday. March 15th against the Sharks might be the game. So at this point, I've never been a guy like so like, oh, Jesus Christ, I hope he hits this record before March even happens. Because I don't need the Sharks to be the punchline of another record. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's already enough.
Yeah. Although like it would be cool to watch it live instead of like on a GIF on Twitter.
Sure. But it's like I don't need that. All right, let's move on to the the goofiness, the silliness, the stupidity that took place at Wrigley Field this week. Oh my God. We need to get over this fucking outdoor shit. I'm telling you. Dude, I'm done with it. Like it was a thing. Like it was cool. I'm done. And one of the big reasons why is the ridiculous merchandise pricing. Look at this. Pete Blackburn takes photos of what appears to be a really cool, nice varsity jacket, whatever you want to call it. Some people call it a bomber jacket. Some call it a varsity jacket. It's fine. And then you go, oh, okay, how much is that? That's a really nice jacket. What is that? What's that going for? Like $350, $400? No. The guys are wearing this on the ice. So, of course, we're going to sell that shit for $1,000.
I can't even.
Are you fucking kidding me? $1,000, a grand. Fuck you. And the thing is that I went and looked online.
Yeah.
Just for shits and giggles. I'm like, I just typed in like red and black varsity jacket. And they're like, oh yeah, you can get one of these for $100. Like leather sleeves, wool, body, basically almost identical to what they have for like $100.
I could not imagine spending $1,000 on a single piece of clothing.
Dude, but on a fucking jet, like maybe on a suit. You know what I mean? Like if you got like a really nice suit that was like, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Bottoni, whoever, if you got like a really nice suit, but the fact it's like a single article of clothing. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I am not in that tax bracket where this could even be a thing that I could do. So,
dude, and I'm right there with you. So I sit there and I'm like, yeah, it's like you can get the same thing. Of course, without the logos, but I'm sure there's like 200 places online you could find those logos and patches and find somebody to sew it on for you. But the fact is, people will buy this shit. Like Econ 101 tells you supply and demand. And the fact is, they keep, supplying this because people keep paying this ridiculous amount of money. The Sharks had a leather bomber jacket, like, I don't know, like a year and a half ago. I'm going to say probably didn't sell that well because they had it like online and at the store for like $600, but the last equipment sale, all of a sudden you can get one for like $200. It's just, ugh. And so I see that shit. It makes me lose my mind. And then we move on to other things from the NHL Winter Classic.
Sorry, Samcast. You can just do $400 cameo. Oh, 400 cameos. Yeah, at $250 each, because I don't think anyone's paying much more than that.
I love that. All right, I'm gonna go on one of my notorious AJ rants. Let me try to get through it really quick. The NHL Winter Classic drew an all-time low for viewership. Can we get a moratorium on putting Chicago in an outdoor game for at least 5 seasons? Maybe. I mean, dude, Blackhawks are 0-5 in Winter Classics. The NHL changed from New Year's Day to New Year's Eve, which was colossally stupid. Evidently, that was in hopes of we don't want to compete with college football. And what ended up happening is that they ended up competing with a team in the same state at the same time. Way to fucking score that one. And then it's like, dude, stop being scared of what other leagues are and what they're doing. Just do you. You literally scheduled 12 other NHL games on the same day. You think I'm going to watch Chicago and St. Louis because they're outside instead of watching the team that I follow for the last 20 years just because it happens to be outside? No. So stop that. You think, and there was nothing new. It's same teams that we've seen before in a venue we've seen before. I think we're going to end the narrative as well that, oh, well, the Blackhawks drew, they draw viewers.
They usually do.
Fuck them. The worst
they
ratings ever.
Yeah, the worst. Well, I mean, I think part of that is I was honestly, I will be honest with you. I didn't even realize the Winter Classic was on until I joined the stream.
Thank you. And why is
because
that?
I thought it was
horrible promotion.
It was on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, exactly. You thought it was going to be on New Year's Day. Rather. Yeah, it should have been on New Year's Day because that's what you've been conditioned for the previous 15 years.
Yeah.
So that was really stupid for them to make that change. So, and I've heard Brody did a video about this. I refused to watch it because I didn't want to, to taint my vision. So I'm going to say, NHL, watch this right now for the next 5 seconds. You want to feature an event that fans are going to put on their calendars? Put it on the same day every year. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, first Saturday of the new year. I don't give a fuck. Pick one, stick with it. New Year's Eve, probably a really stupid one to choose, but if that's, your jam, go ahead. And that goes for a lot of hockey things, whether it's opening day, anything like that. The opening day for hockey, just make it the first weekend in October. Be done with it. Well, this year it's October 7th. One day before, the first weekend of October. Well, this year it's going to be October 17th. But that's because we actually started the season in Germany. But fuck you. Pick a date, stick with it. The other thing, number 2, don't schedule other games that day. Why are other teams going to watch your shit if their team is playing? Or if they had tickets to go see that?
Yeah, I'm not going to, the Winter Classic does absolutely nothing for me. I mean, the novelty to me is long worn off. I'm morbidly curious the first couple of times, and it was the only game on. So whatever, watch it, right? But here's the thing: on New Year's Day, usually the World Juniors not playing.
Thank you. That too.
Right? New Year's Eve, like there was like I was more paying attention to the World Juniors. Canada and US played on the same night. Like it's just dumb.
Yeah. Then during you make it as part of an ongoing thing. During the first intermission of a Winter Classic, you announce, here's the information for next year. 1 year from today. Next year, it's going to be at this location with these two teams, and you show off, just the patch. You don't have to show off the interesting, cool shit that the actual teams are going to wear, but just the logo of, because you know where it's going to be. So you show off that. Number 4, get the fucking merchandise out. Like pick an annual date. I don't care if it's the first Frozen Frenzy that the last couple of years have been, at the end of October. I don't care if it's the Hall of Fame game at the beginning of November. Just pick a date, stick with it, unveil the jerseys, the merchandise for the Winter Classic, but have it all available to purchase within 7 days or less of the announcement. Needs to be orderable online, needs to be, if game is being played like this year, Chicago and St. Louis, even if it's being played at Wrigley Field in Chicago, a St. Louis Blues fan needs to be able to walk in to the St. Louis Blues store within a week of the announcement and go, give me that outdoor jersey, baby. I need that. Yep. So have it available. Because it's ridiculous. None of this, hey, look at these awesome jerseys that you can't buy for 2 months. Like, fuck off. And then finally, stop using the same fucking teams. St. Louis and Chicago, we've already seen this, horse and donkey show. And stop recycling venues. We've already seen Wrigley Field. Half of the NHL teams have not participated in a Winter Classic. 11 of 16 Winter Classics have featured an arbitrary 6 team. I don't call them original. I call them arbitrary, right?
Right. 4
of those games have had only arbitrary 6 teams. I actually prefer Stadium Series more because, they push the envelopes. I like seeing like bolts and, some of those stadium games, like they push the envelope for jersey designs and logos and shit. Trying to throw the shit back. It's just, a third of the league didn't exist 30 years ago. Like, how much are we trying to throw it back? You're trying to recognize teams that didn't even exist.
Yep.
Stop it, is my point. So, that's my bitch. The other thing is, I love that Jeremy Roenick was one of the 3 Blackhawks that were involved. It's weird that he was involved in dropping the puck, because if you roll the shit back, I don't know, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, whatever it was, when Jeremy Roenick was part of the NBC broadcast, he got his ass kicked off the broadcast for saying some shit out of turn. And I'll be the first to admit, I didn't think it was out of turn. I thought it was him trying to be funny, telling a story about him, his wife, and Catherine Tappan on vacation. Somehow that ended up into a whole shit show. Either way, I think it's funny that nobody seems to recognize that whole thing now, I guess because NBC doesn't hold the rights to the NHL anymore. But it is what it is. 32 thoughts when it comes to the outdoor games. Evidently, the Panthers and Lightning are going to host outdoor games next season. Ian, how the hell does one state get 2 games? And especially
I thought
in
they were playing
that
each other.
state. Well, I don't know. No, that's not what I heard. It was Panthers and the Lightning are expected to host. How do they both host a game?
I mean,
you know what I mean? If they're in the same state.
At least they're good.
At least
they're good teams. Like I think that was part of the problem this year is that Chicago is so ass. That's is anyone going out of their way to watch the Blackhawks this year?
Well, who was the team that host? Wasn't there a team? Was it Florida that host an All-Star like a couple of years ago where they did a whole bunch of shit on the beach and everything like that?
Yeah.
Was that Florida?
It was one of the Florida teams. I can't remember which one, but yes, you're
So
right.
I'm just going to assume that the other one then is going to get the outdoor game.
Yes. I'm not sure. I haven't. Again, the outdoor games do nothing for me, so I don't really care until like someone says, "Hey, this is happening this week." And I'm like, okay.
I like the outdoor games when they're in, where it's kind of like, really, we're going to try this to do this shit in like Central America or
Do you know why I
Bermuda,
hate the outdoor games?
you know?
Because they're like the Winter Classic or the Heritage Classic. But you know what? Let me tell you something. NHL games are always played inside.
Really? You don't say.
Yeah. Like even in the dawn of the league, the games are still played inside.
All right. The other thing that came out this past week is that evidently ratings are diving off a fucking cliff. What a shock. It says ratings are down 28%. And I'm thinking, what else do you expect to happen when you're going to make fans jump through hoops, need different platform subscriptions to watch the games? And I think it's
feel like that is specific. I feel like NBA is also like, I feel like it's
no,
down across the
NBA is
board.
going down too.
Okay. Like I don't feel like
But-
this is specific to hockey, right? Like I feel like it's going down.
No.
across the board,
It's
except for the NFL.
not specific to hockey. They said both NBA and NHL ratings are on a downward trajectory. The thing being, and because both of those leagues run basically concurrently.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the Ducks and the Stars, they said those ratings are up. Well, what's the difference? Well, the difference is that the Ducks and the
Television.
Stars
Yeah.
are doing direct streaming. They don't
Yep.
have TV deals. They're
And
doing it right.
They're on like, aren't they on a like? I thought they were. What teams like? There's a couple teams that are even like on normal television again too, aren't they?
Well, it has nothing to do with
Vegas?
normal television. It's this whole idea of they like, if you watch a Sharks, we're a Sharks fan, right? So
Mhm.
it's like this season or over the past season, if I want to watch all 82 games, well, what
Yeah.
is it? It's like 70 games. I have to have a subscription, whether it's, YouTube or Comcast or DirecTV or whatever. I have to be on some sort of platform that has access to NBCSN California. Or is it still NBCSN? Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds right. But then, there's going to be 10 games-ish where it's like, a couple of these games, I need an ESPN Plus
Right.
subscription.
Yeah.
Or
'cause they're
I
on
need
the-
a Hulu subscription, or I need that, and it's just kind of like, what do
Yeah.
we even do? How the hell do you grow the game when you literally make it harder for the average fan to watch the game? The World Juniors, from what I understand, were on TSN, which, from what I understand, if you live in Canada, you receive by birth. But if you're in the US,
Then it's on NHL Network, I believe.
yeah, NHL Network,
Yeah.
which from what I understand, like you have to have satellite TV. If you have like Comcast, YouTube TV, which is what I have now, but if you have YouTube, Comcast, Dish, blah blah, basically you need to have direct TV. Like I have YouTube TV right now,
Mhm.
and the only reason why I kind of like pushed back in transitioning was I'm really gonna miss NHL Network, but okay, fuck it, let's make the transition, because it was basically gonna cut the bill in half. And so I go back to the whole thing of like, I'm not going to pay, $70 a year, $80 or a year, I'm sorry, $80 a month for one channel, for NHL Network TV. If it's, there's these 2 weeks that I can watch World Juniors, and then there's this other week that I can watch something, and that's, no. So the NHL is doing a horrible disservice to their fans. There should have been some sort of package
Oh, it's
That-
way worse. And
yeah.
I feel like other sports have it way worse now. Like,
Football doesn't. Football, there's 1,800 channels to watch football on.
yeah.
Oh, all right. So the ratings are down. What else do you expect? Again, I didn't hear anything about Timo's return to SAP. Didn't hear a lot about Hurdle coming back. Like the Shark, and this is not only a Sharks thing, but like the home teams, you have to sell the opponent. There was a time where you could go to a sports game, whether it was, going to see baseball, football, whoever, the opponent's swag. It wasn't a huge selection. Shirt, jersey, hat. That was it. But you could buy the opponent's gear because it was all about selling the game, not selling you a team. That's what it used to be. We need to get back to that. All right. It's time for the contest, people. So, for all of you lovely people that are sticking with us here, if you have won a game previously, please don't answer. Also note, only your first answer will be accepted to the question I am about to proffer. So just answer once. But again, if you've won previously, with me and Jerk, all the games that we used to do every week, if you've done that, hold off. Don't answer. Now, we're going to go through this. Now, in like 10 minutes, if we haven't gotten the correct answer, then if you've already won, then we'll ask you, okay, jump in if you know. So here it is. Rewind the clock back to 2019. There was a run of playoff merchandise for the Sharks that really focused on using neon. And before each home playoff game, the Sharks gave out rally towels to all fans that were in attendance. Now, since everybody loves to Game 7, who doesn't love a Game 7, baby? The question is, which Sharks player was featured on the Game 7 towel? The game that Pavelski, Stastny and Eakin fucked him up. That particular game, towels were handed out. What was the name of the player that was featured on that towel? First to answer correctly will win. And if we don't have the answer by the time the show is done, we'll open it up to everybody. So anyway, we'll come back to your answers after we get into talking a little bit about this other team.
Ooh, Barracuda.
Well, shit. I mean, it was an interesting week for the Cuda. They went 2-1, climbed up to third by percentage, just behind Calgary and Ontario, staving off Colorado. God damn, if they could have just won both of those, that would have been nice. So, middle of the week, San Diego would host the Barracuda, and somehow San Jose would find a win in overtime, twice erasing 1-goal deficits in the third period. Just before ending up those, upending the goals in overtime, Lucas Carlson opening the scoring would end it with a game winner at 3:29 of the extra session. Carlson has now scored 4 times in his last 3 contests. Ethan Cardwell with primary assists on both of those goals, and Romanov stopping 24-27. I mean, Ian, at that point, you're just kind of like, who's this Carlson guy? Cardwell deserving another call-up as soon as there's space, right? And then
as soon as
you're just kind of like, hey, now, like, who? Askarov who?
Yeah, I mean, a good game, obviously, for the Barracuda. Lucas Carlson is again one of those guys that they brought in to try and kind of shore up the defense on this team. The Barracuda have run one of the youngest blue lines the last few seasons. Obviously, that hasn't worked for them. Enter
yeah.
Lucas Carlson, who's come in, who's been really good for them. You know, and yeah, no Askarov, no problem. I mean, problem, but look at they got things done.
Well, it would then turn into a back-to-back games at TechCU. Evidently, a huge wrestling match yesterday. I'm not a wrestling guy, but evidently that was a huge theme.
Yeah, I mean, best crowd that I think I've ever seen at TechCU.
Really? Because I've gone
Huge
to a
crowd.
couple games to this season. I felt like there was just as many, if not more. But you're saying on TV it looked
from what it looked like a really good crowd.
that's awesome.
For the Barracuda. And how did the Barracuda reward them? Let us know.
I was like, well, Dell was in net. We had a lot of questionable officiating. Ended up being a 4-2 loss. Tale of two games, dude. The Cuda were going early, but dude, the third period, and that now ended up being the first of back-to-back home losses this season for this game.
Yeah,
that was tough.
This is your, like, anytime you've ever heard anyone complain about the Barracuda, this game is a perfect highlight of it.
Yep.
You know, obviously, I think the officiating was a little sus, but I think the Barracuda did take a lot of dumb penalties at the same time.
If you listen to the broadcast, dude, Nolan Berger and Remenda thought that the officiating was holy shit.
Yeah, but this is a team that hasn't, like, earned the benefit of the doubt. Right?
All
Like,
right,
this is a team
I'll
that
feed
takes
you that. No, I'll give you that.
dumb
But it was
amount of
just fun to listen to
Yeah.
Remenda and Nolan Berger just like dump all over the Zebras. And it was just like, you know, it's like tripped, Cardwell tripped, no call. Okay, what the fuck are these guys watching?
Yeah, like but I think, like, but the Barracuda did get pretty unglued. I thought their game was pretty sus. Like, and then like Aaron Dell, like, had a good start, but I don't think he was very good on some of the goals that put that put the Eagles ahead. I don't know, man. Like, it sucks because I think, like, it was a really good turnout for them. And, like, again, like, people, you want to tell the people, like, the Barracuda are worth paying attention to, and then you have a really decent house for probably maybe the best house they've had this year, and they stink it up pretty bad in the third. Like, yeah, the officiating wasn't great, but at the same time, like, this is a team that hasn't earned the benefit of the doubt. This is a team that does take a lot of stupid penalties. I think they took a penalty while they were, you know, with an empty net. Like, it was just kind of one of those types of things, like, not good. They kind of stunk it up in the third, and it kind of sucks because, again, this is a team that you want people to pay attention to. And when you have one of your best houses, I think that was a really, you know, it was a shitty way to lose the game. And then obviously the Sharks have kind of been good the last couple of games. It's like, well, I thought the Barracuda were good.
Well, and see, that's the fun part of it, though, is it was a, you know, sold out barn. And so it was really fun with that questionable officiating to just hear the fans just rail on the, you know, the Zebras a little bit. It was fun.
Yeah.
You know, it was a fun game to go to. And so earlier today, Colorado would get struck back, if you will. Romanov back in net. Podorowski, Bordeleau stay hot. Kuda score 3 in the first. They allowed 2 in the second. And you're like, oh, fuck, here we go. But then, what's his name? Hool?
Yes.
Well, yeah, boom. He'd get the game winner. And then with Askarov with the Sharks, boom, all of a sudden, you know, maybe the Cuda aren't quite as badass, but they won 2 of 3 this week. So, hey, now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I look at it again. I think this is why I think another thing too, like, this team, things would have to go super off the rails for them to miss the playoffs at this point. Again, 7 teams in the Pacific Division make the playoffs. To me, like, I get that having Askarov there would give them a better chance to do something in the playoffs.
It makes
time,
the,
like,
you know, it makes the Johnson feel an inch longer, if you know what I mean.
But again, like, you know, not to go back an hour or two in the show, you know, but is that the best? You have to think of the player too at the same time, right?
Sure.
Like, the farm team is there to serve the big club. Like that's the reality of it. Like
Absolutely.
if the Sharks have a wrath of injuries, then I'd be like, the Barracuda are doing really good, so you better bring up your 3 worst guys. Like that's not how this works. I don't have a ton to say. I kind of had an eye on it, but I was more watching the medal round, like the medal games for the World Junior, so I don't have a ton to say about the Barracuda game.
All right. Let's hit this up for the contest. The people that were here for the contest. Ramon Garcia. Do you have proof that you haven't already won? Because that name sounds familiar. But anyway, Ramon.
Let's get out of here.
You scored it, dude. You are the guy who said the correct name for the Game 7 tell. It was Couture on that. So, Ramon, hit me up. AJ at tealtownusa.com. Fire me off a note that said, "Hey, dude, I won that," and we're gonna fire off something that I think is kind of cool. So this week, the Couture is going to play a home and home with the Bakersfield Condors. Sure, why not? But over the last 6 games, dude, before tonight, Podorowski 5 points, Beasted 4, Carlson 4, Cardwell 6, Bordeleau 5. So, the guys that you're hoping to do some damage are doing some damage, especially when you call out Beasted, Cardwell, and Bordeleau. So let's see what happens this week, man.
Again, I think the only thing that I'm a little concerned about, I think, is Cagnoni hasn't had a point in 7, I think, at this point. But I think
he
again,
also
it's
had
just
to eat a shitty penalty, too.
Yeah, I think again, I think it's just like the jump. You see this often with guys who make the jump from junior to the pro game. They kind of like, you get halfway through the season, it looks like they hit a wall. I think that's what's happening with Cagnoni. It's not anything that I'd be overly concerned with. It happens to a lot of players.
All right, hold on. Ruben is saying that he won, and I'm scrolling down. Like, who's the first person that said Couture? Oh, wait a minute. Ramon, you broke the rule, and that's on me. Your first answer is the one that counts, and your first answer was LeBanc, not Couture. So, dude, that's I don't know if that's why Ruben is saying, dude, I won it. I'm the first one to say.
No, Ruben's trolling. Give it to Ramon. It's fine. Let's get out of here.
Okay. This is. Oh, you know what? Okay, we're gonna redo this next week. So, yeah, Ruben, you're trolling.
Ruben says he's trolling.
Yeah, but no, it's still. I don't know, dude. I don't. We're going to go back and look at this. I feel like Ramon got a second guess. That's not right. That's not right.
I don't know. I gotta go to bed.
All right. All right. We'll continue this next week. All right. So World Juniors. Holy flying fuck. USA versus Finland. Who is it? It was Svoboda and Haltinen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, fuck that guy. A lot of Ziev Boyum talk. Fuck all those guys. What happened? USA won the whole thing. That's all we're here for. And, in Canada, that's been the really funny thing, Ian, is listening to, all the TSN, all that shit, talking about, I can't believe they played this guy. I can't believe they, like, it is a lot of recency complaining.
Well, no, here's the problem. Okay. Like, the problem is that when you look at this team, like, you look at the guys they left at home. They left at home like
that's
3
what I mean.
Picks in the top 10. Like, I don't. Again, like, I think that Canada Galaxy ran the roster a little bit. They decided they weren't hard enough to play last year, and then so they tried to build a team to win a 7-game series in a single elimination game tournament. Like, I don't understand how Michael Misa is not on this team. I don't understand how Artur Yakimchuk's not on this team. Like, there's so many guys that they left at Zane Perrick. And those are just guys and those are just 3 guys. Like, and the list always goes on and on and on. Obviously, with a team like Canada, you could make 3 teams and they could all contend to go. But the problem is you have to make one team, and they didn't make a very good one. And obviously, TSN's a little sour because obviously, like, this is a big
Bias.
because ever since they
Bias.
lost the NHL deal, this is their ratings getter. And
Of
when
course.
Team Canada gets bounced and finishes fifth, not good. No, I know
Does this change the way you think that your country looks at the Four Nations tournament?
no. Here's the difference between this and the Four Nations tournament, right? Team Canada at the Four Nations tournament, they get access to everyone.
Yeah.
At the World Juniors, you get access to kids under 20.
Oh, so
That's
it's
the
like
difference, right?
it's like the Matt Gates of hockey.
Yeah, like I think the World Junior. Look, I think Team USA is probably going to win the Four Nations as well, because I just think that they have better goaltending than everyone else. Well, maybe not everyone else, but they're like Canada's goaltending at the Four Nations is going to absolutely be its weakest, the weakest part of that team. Now, again, there's enough players there that they're still going to be good, but Four Nations, man, it's a round robin, and then the two best teams from the round robin play to win whatever it is. Like it's a really snappy thing. A lot of shit can go incredibly right or wrong. Like but like if things go wrong early, there's no time to get back in it. So
See, that's the big part of it. That's the big part of it. All right.
yeah,
So-
Ula left off I made a perfect list of players that they're missing. I just need to go to bed.
Who's that? Who is this?
Ula in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
UALLAA.
No, absolutely. And so and the thing that gets me is that someone reported in like Reddit or whatever, like Haltonen was named like player of the game yesterday, following Sweden versus Finland. And my whole thing was like, I looked on like 18 different websites. I couldn't find a single confirmation. I couldn't find a single acknowledgement of a player of the game. And I'm like going, can anybody confirm this? Because I'd love to know how Haltonen got player of the game over Consta Hellenius, because Haltonen had the secondary assist on the OT winner. Hellenius assisted on all 4 goals.
Yeah, he was all over the ice.
I'm like, I don't even understand how Haltonen gets player of the game. He had 1 assist, the other guy has 4. And 3 of the 4 were primary. I'm like, did Haltonen kill a guy? Like, what happened? I don't know. Either way, follow Tealtown USA, Ian Reed, Sharks Jules, Kevin Lacey. They're all on Twitter doing that, the funny OHL, ECHL, all those, they care about the HLs that the rest of us kind of laugh at. So this week, the Sharks are going to host the Golden Knights. Jesus, really? Again? All right. Second time in less than 2 weeks. They're going to make a quick trip to Utah before hosting the Minnesota Wild the following night. I'm going to wonder right now, like, does Stenlund, is he going to have a target on his back for, after the way Celebrini got boarded by him in Utah? I'm really looking forward to that. Went uncalled by some horrible officiating. By the way, Chris Rooney, Riley Brace were the vision impaired duo that took care of that. So we're going to see what happens in that. And then finally, I know Ian needs to get the fuck out of here. Chris, and I've seen him in the chat tonight. He was nice enough. Chris JWS acknowledged, let us know that evidently tonight is our 10th anniversary. That we began Pucknology, the Pucknologists, Tealtown, the whole germ of this whole thing, I guess, began 10 years ago tonight. And so, of course, I'm going to thank Chris.
Yep.
People that also helped us out that aren't with us anymore. Gentry, Rocket, Hockey Jerk, of course. I know there's a couple others, and like, who's that girl that was like in Wisconsin, or I can't remember. She helped us out for a little while.
Mhm.
There were
Quite a few
definitely
people. Yeah.
yeah, there were a lot of people. So any of the other key contributors I might be forgetting, thank you. And when I look back on the 10 years of doing this, I think to myself, holy shit, did we waste a lot of time. but but seriously, I'm proud to have, joined Chris, Kura, Landy,
Yeah,
obviously,
Lindy. Yeah.
yeah, Ian, and it just like so many of the others, Jules and Dana, like we're all part of this Landy. That we blazed a trail when we started this shit. We were the first Sharks video podcast, and we
Sure.
started things that have clearly inspired others. I'll try to be that nice about it. uh, but I love that because this all started, thanks to KNBR 95.7, because if you actually talked about the Sharks, we never would have started doing this. And thanks to everyone in the Sharks organization that
Kelsey. Yep.
has, oh, yes, Kelsey, that's another one. Thanks to everybody in the Sharks front office, the organization that has given us access, treated us equally, invited us in, including Flavel or Flavel. I'm not really, I never learned how to pronounce his name correctly, but huge stick tap to him because evidently he was the one guy at the time that said, we need to embrace the fans and the podcasts. So huge stick tap to him. Evidently, from what I understand, it was the only good decision he ever made. So anyway, stick taps to all of those people. You know who you are if you were here for it. We totally love and respect you. I mean, I look at Laurel, Laurel, long time, so Jerry, there are people that have been long time watchers that
Yeah.
they're in here like every time that we go on air. They're here.
Yeah.
Ruben,
Yeah.
that douchebag, Ruben, that guy, Tyga, that cunt.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, there's definitely like, I just, obviously I super appreciate everyone. If you don't believe that we've been doing this for 10 years, you can go watch old videos where I had neither glasses nor I wasn't, last week I was complaining, I think, about the arthritis in my hands. That definitely didn't happen 10 years ago. Yeah, the more things. It's crazy.
No,
The fact that,
so crazy.
yeah, I mean, look, and the fact that we're still going strong is obviously because of the support from the people who regularly watch and listen. Because I think after 10 years, I mean, at the start when like you don't gain any traction right away, then that's fine. But I think after 10 years, if you're not like if you can't build a community like we've built, then what are you even doing at this point?
Right. And Chris pointing at, we wanted Sharks coverage that wasn't just, KMBR barely touching it for 5 minutes. Or say,
Yeah, and
that's
Felix. We didn't even mention Felix. Poor Felix.
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. And of course, Felix, absolutely. But Chris nailed it. Where it's like, like just staring at it or like touching, like the top of the knob. That doesn't mean fuck all. Like,
Yep.
we need a full grip, is what we're saying, and you never gave it to us, KMBR 95.7. So, anyway. The fact that I guess tonight is 10 years that we started this, I think this is so cool. And when you think about that, when we started this, there was no video podcast for the Sharks. We started that shit. There was the only other Sharks podcast, quote unquote podcast that I was even aware of is Dudes on Hockey.
Dudes on Hockey.
Yeah, Dudes on Hockey. And I'm not taking anything away from them. I think Dudes on Hockey, they're awesome. But like if I have to give Dudes on Hockey any type of constructive criticism, the fact is that and don't trust me, go look at their release schedule. They didn't promote on a lot of social media channels. And if you go and look, I think since the start of the season, which was 3 months ago, it's like October, November, December. Okay. 3 months ago, we've had a podcast after every single game. We've had the Sunday Pucknologists. We had it when we've done Teal Town Lives when, Blackwood was traded or whatever. My point being is that I think Dudes on Hockey puts out a show like once a month, maybe. And that's if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So, and again, I love Dudes on Hockey. I would love it if they did it more consistently is all my thing. So the fact is, like, we started the video thing. We started the consistency thing. Anybody else who came behind us, doff of the cap to you. Hopefully you give a doff of the cap to us because we blaze that fucking trail and we recognize we have receipts. So remember to like and subscribe, help keep us commercial free, because that's the other thing about all the other podcasts that are about the Sharks. We keep the shit legit. We're not part of a network. We're not nobody is carrying our water, baby. So use that super chat. Better yet, use the Venmo. You can find us at tealtownusa. Find links to our social media, podcast apps, and more included in the show notes. And you can find everything on tealtownusa.com. You can even find us on Blue Sky. So with that, oh my God, look at Eric just throwing names. He's throwing names in there. And so
We'll
with
throw
that,
them in the description or something.
yeah, no, absolutely. So, Ian, what do we got here? All right. So Tuesday, hosting Vegas, then it's at Utah, and then hosting Minnesota. So, I mean, not the greatest schedule in the world, but Vegas, you kind of sit there and go, didn't we just see these assholes?
Mm-hmm.
And aren't they just killing the top of our division?
Yep.
So how do you think the Sharks are going to handle that after winning, going 2-0 into 25? Like, you got to feel like they must be kind of like, oh shit, we got to do some stuff.
I mean, I want them to do good against Vegas. They just never seem to lately.
Yeah, but you know what? Do you think it's a case of let's see who Vegas decides to put in net? Do you think it's like Aiden Hill could be like the difference?
I'm concerned of who the Sharks are going to put in net.
Who else would it be?
Well, I mean, it should be Askarov. They haven't, they've had a day off. It should be Askarov, but like if they put Georgiev in net, that's a loss.
Hold on, a day off?
Did they have two? I watched so much hockey in the last few days that
they played yesterday. They're not going to play until Tuesday. There's going to be
they're gonna have a couple of days off. Okay,
yeah. How is it not Askarov?
has to be.
Okay, so it goes back to what I'm saying. Can the Sharks start 2025 3-0?
Can they stay undefeated?
Yeah. Can they stay there?
Yeah, fucking right. I'm there.
Well, and the reason why I say that, because I think it's so fun, is was it after the Tampa Bay? I think it was after the Tampa Bay game. We did a whole, or maybe it was a Philly game, Philly or Tampa. There's a whole bunch of us doing it after dark, and we were like, oh, when's the next time the Sharks are going to win? And one guy said, oh, at Utah. Another guy said Minnesota, right. Detroit. And all of a sudden, they literally won the next game. And it was like, okay, well, we all sound like a bunch of dumb fucks.
We're a bunch of morons.
Yeah. So Vegas hosting, and when was the last time you saw the Sharks start a homestand where it began and ended with the same team? A little creepy. I don't know. I think you can do it at Utah. I think all this, that's the whole thing.
These are I want the Sharks to do well this week because obviously fuck Vegas.
Oh, sure.
First, Utah, after what they've done, what Stenlund's done to Celebrini twice, because that wasn't the first time that he's messed up Celebrini.
You know what the problem is?
Hmm.
The Sharks like lose 8 of 9, and you're like, yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. I
Right.
believe in you, Mike Greer. You're like, I see light at the end of the tunnel, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden the Sharks like win 2 of 3, and you're like, fuck light at the end of the tunnel. Let's win now, bitches.
No, I don't know. I think, look, I'd like to see 4 points this week. That's my final answer.
Hell yeah. All right, there you go. 4 points this week. Ramon Garcia, we're going to figure out how the hell we're going to, between now and next Sunday, we'll figure it out, like, how you didn't win. I don't know. But anyway, 4 points between now and next week, baby. See you next time. And following Sharks and Vegas.